Chapter 581. Lin Yi's anger. But I'm already disfigured. You. Tang Yun suddenly thought of her current situation and felt sad. It was true that Lin Yi liked her, but would he still like her after seeing her like this? Tang Yun wasn't sure. After all, when Lin Yi first came into contact with her, it must be because of her beauty, right? Ha! Lin Yi suddenly laughed. You. What are you laughing at? Are you laughing at me? Tang Yun looked at Lin Yi angrily. So what if I'm disfigured? Lin Yi shrugged. Then what I'm asking is, do you still want me? Tang Yun stared at Lin Yi. Of course, why not? Lin Yi nodded. Ugh. Tang Yun didn't know what to say. What did Lin Yi mean? At that moment, Fatty Lai entered the ward, panting. It must have been hard on him. He had a body full of fat, but he ran like the wind. Boss, I'm here. Fatty Lai held 2 boxes and walked to Lin Yi. When he looked down, he saw Tang Yun on the bed. He was shocked. Sister-in-law, what's wrong? How did you get hurt? This was what Lin Yi wanted to know as well, but he didn't have the time yet. Lin Yi had just resolved the misunderstanding with Tang Yun, and now that Fatty Lai had brought the medicine over, Lin Yi naturally had to treat Tang Yun first. He didn't want Tang Yun to be disfigured. We'll talk about this later. Lin Yi took the boxes from Fatty Lai and said to Tang Yun, Tang Yun, I'll apply some medicine for you. Okay. Tang Yun nodded without thinking. She was in a sweet and happy mood. She knew that Lin Yi wouldn't harm her, so she would cooperate with whatever Lin Yi wanted to do. Lin Yi helped Tang Yun up and started removing the bandage on her head, scaring Mrs. Tang and Xinwen. Lin Yi, what are you doing? Mrs. Tang asked as she watched Lin Yi remove the bandage on her daughter's head. Heal the wounds. Lin Yi replied. His hands didn't stop moving as he quickly removed the gauze. It might have touched the wound on Tang Yun's head. Tang Yun's body trembled slightly and she couldn't help but frown. There was a horrifying wound on Tang Yun's forehead. Although it had been stitched up, it was still horrifying. Lin Yi's heart ached. How could this girl be so careless? Fortunately, I have injury medicine. Otherwise, wouldn't I really be disfigured? Don't worry, it won't hurt soon. Lin Yi opened the box and applied the painkiller evenly on Tang Yun's forehead. This kind of painkiller could be taken orally and applied externally. Mrs. Tang was a bit scared. She didn't know what Lin Yi was going to do, but she didn't dare to stop him. She thought that Lin Yi wouldn't harm her daughter. If Lin Yi didn't really like her daughter, he could just ignore her since she was in this state. Why would he go through all this trouble? Xinwen, on the other hand, was much calmer. When she sent Xiaofan to the hospital, Lin Yi's amazing acupuncture was still fresh in her mind. Tang Yun also said that Lin Yi knew medicine, so Xinwen thought that Lin Yi was definitely treating Tang Yun. After applying the painkiller, Tang Yun was shocked to find that her forehead didn't hurt anymore. How was this possible? She couldn't help but look at Lin Yi in shock. It was unbelievable. Lin Yi quickly removed the stitches on Tang Yun's forehead, and the wound opened up. Blood flowed out, but Lin Yi wasn't in a rush. He slowly applied the ointment on the wound, and it didn't take long for the bleeding to stop. After doing all this, Lin Yi wrapped the gauze on Tang Yun's forehead again and smiled. It's done. You won't be disfigured anymore. Lin Yi was too lazy to use painkillers on the female assassin Yang Qiqi or himself. This kind of wound was nothing. He could just apply the injury medicine directly. But Tang Yun couldn't. She didn't have professional training. This kind of pain was hard to bear. Not anymore? Tang Yun heard Lin Yi's words. She was surprised and happy, but she also felt that it was unbelievable. Not anymore. Lin Yi nodded. This is my company's first product. It's called injury medicine. It has the same effect as Dr. Kang's golden creation. Mrs. Tang didn't believe that her daughter wouldn't be disfigured, but after hearing Lin Yi's words, she believed it. Dr. Kang's golden creation was famous. But this wasn't a product that normal people like them could buy. It was a limited supply of miraculous medicine. It was hard to buy even if you had to go through a lot of channels. It was said that after applying it, the wound would heal quickly without leaving any scars. It was amazing. Ha ha. Tang Yun finally put down her worries. She couldn't help but like Lin Yi even more. Being his girlfriend was great. She wouldn't have to disfigure herself. Just take a sip of this painkiller if you feel any pain later. Lin Yi said as he handed the painkiller to Mrs. Tang. One night, and you'll be able to remove the bandages. That's fast, Mrs. Tang exclaimed. At the same time her mind became active again. Lily, your Uncle Tang's legs were broken. Is there any way to help him recover faster? Uncle Tang is injured too? Lin Yi paused. His face became serious. Before, he thought that Tang Yun's injury was an accident, so he didn't think much about it. But now that Mrs. Tang said that Tang Juqing was injured as well, Lin Yi started to suspect something. Especially when Mrs. Tang said that she was injured. Could there be something going on? What happened? How did Tang Yun and Uncle Tang get injured? Well, it's like this. Mrs. Tang didn't think about asking Lin Yi to help them. After all, from her point of view, those people were like mafia members. They did whatever they wanted, and normal people couldn't afford to offend them. She told Lin Yi that it was because her house collapsed. She wanted Lin Yi to help solve it. Otherwise, where would she live in the future? Mrs. Tang told Lin Yi everything that happened. She didn't dare hide anything from him. She told him about how she was greedy for money and how she wanted to get the store. If there wasn't a cause, then why would there be such a thing? After listening to Mrs. Tang's story, Lin Yi's face darkened. In his heart, he was already extremely furious. These people dared to treat Tang Yun like this. They had crossed Lin Yi's bottom line. Lin Yi was infuriated. Master Bing? Very good. Chapter 582. Completion Ceremony, Boss. Zhao Qibing is a very famous young master in our province. His family background is very mysterious. I heard that he's related to the hidden houses. Li Zihua from Songshan is his subordinate. Fatty Lai was afraid that Lin Yi would act rashly and quickly revealed Zhao Qibing's background. I heard that he's a bastard child, but there's no proof. What's a hidden house? Lin Yi didn't seem to care about what Fatty Lai said. Hidden houses are more mysterious than the 4 big and 5 small houses. No one knows the names of these houses except for House Yu. I heard that they're a branch of a hidden house, or that House Yu itself is a branch of a hidden house. Fatty Lai said with a serious expression. But the hidden houses are stronger than these noble houses. It's just that they rarely interfere with the affairs of the common world. Oh. Lin Yi nodded expressionlessly. You don't have to say that. Just tell me where Zhao Qibing is. Fatty Lai froze. He knew that Lin Yi was determined to touch Zhao Qibing. He said helplessly, Zhao Qibing established a Qibing real estate company in Songshan. The Qibing skyscraper was just completed today. Zhao Qibing is holding a completion ceremony at the Qibing restaurant in front of the skyscraper. He invited a lot of famous people in Songshan. I received an invitation as well. Completion? Lin Yi smiled coldly. Fatty Lai, go find some trenching machines and bulldozers. We're going to meet this Master Bing. Lin Yi's tone was filled with certainty. Fatty Lai knew that no matter what background Zhao Qibing had, he wouldn't be able to stop his boss's anger. However, Fatty Lai was firm. Since his boss was going to touch Zhao Qibing, as his follower, he had to take the lead. He had decided to follow Lin Yi. He didn't care if Zhao Qibing was from a hidden house. Yes, boss. Fatty Lai was in the real estate business. Naturally, he had an engineering team. It wasn't hard to find some bulldozers and trenching machines. Tang Yun was shocked after hearing Lin Yi's words. Lin Yi, what are you doing? Don't cause trouble. Let's go see Uncle Tang first. Lin Yi didn't respond to Tang Yun's words. He understood Tang Yun's worry, but Lin Yi's mind was set. If someone dared to touch Tang Yun, how could Lin Yi let them go so easily? Tang Yun saw that Lin Yi didn't reply. She knew that Lin Yi wanted revenge for her, but she was afraid that Lin Yi wasn't a match. Lin Yi didn't know that Qibing was from the 4 big and 5 small houses. That sounded very scary. And that Zhao Qibing was related to a hidden house that was even more powerful than the 4 big and 5 small houses. How could Tang Yun not be nervous? She didn't need to be disfigured anymore, and naturally, she wanted to be with him peacefully. She didn't want him to cause any more trouble. Lin Yi. Tang Yun was touched, but she was afraid that something would happen to Lin Yi. What would she do if something happened to Lin Yi? Heh! Lin Yi sneered. He should have considered the consequences before he touched you. Don't Don't kill people. Tang Yun knew that Lin Yi was strong, and when he was angry, he wouldn't care about the consequences. She was afraid that Lin Yi would cause trouble. She would rather not have Lin Yi stand up for her. Murder. Lin Yi was startled. In his heart, he had already blacklisted Master Bing, but Tang Yun's words reminded Lin Yi. If it were the old him, Qi Bing would have been nothing but a shrimp in his eyes, someone he could kill with a wave of his hand. There wouldn't be any consequences even if he was killed, but it was a little difficult to kill Zhao Qibing in front of everyone. However, even if he could avoid death, he couldn't escape punishment. There were many ways to turn someone into a living dead, and there was no need for Lin Yi to be wanted by the police just to kill Zhao Qibing. I won't kill him today. When Lin Yi said that, he already treated Zhao Qibing as a dead man. Even if he didn't die today, he would die in the future. However, Lin Yi wouldn't say that to Tang Yun. He said, "Let's see Uncle Tang first." Tang Yun sighed. She didn't understand the hidden meaning in Lin Yi's words, but she knew that Lin Yi wouldn't let Zhao Qibing go easily. However, would this cause trouble? Mrs. Tang accompanied Lin Yi to Tang Juqing's room. Mr. Tang knew that his daughter had broken up with Lin Yi, so he was surprised to see Lin Yi. However, seeing that Lin Yi was still as respectful as before, Tang Juqing found it strange. However, Mrs. Tang was here, so Tang Juqing didn't ask too much. He planned to ask about the details later. Lin Yi checked on Tang Juqing's condition. It was just a broken bone, but it was already connected. It was no big deal. However, Lin Yi quickly wrote down a prescription and gave it to Mrs. Tang. Get the medicine according to this prescription. Take it in the morning and night, 1 medicine a day, and you'll recover in a month. It's just a neurological problem. I need to get the medicine from my hometown. Okay. Mrs. Tang took the prescription carefully. She was very grateful to Lin Yi. Mrs. Tang had seen her daughter's miraculous ability to stop pain in an instant, so she trusted Lin Yi even more now. If Lin Yi said that it would be fine, then it must be fine. After saying goodbye to Mrs. Tang and Tang Yun, Lin Yi walked out of the hospital, but his face was dark. Although Lin Yi didn't know what the hidden house was, Lin Yi was never afraid of anyone. It didn't matter if they were from a hidden house or not. He would deal with Zhao Qibing first. Boss, the bulldozer and trenching machine are ready. I've also contacted the demolition team. Fatty Lai guessed what Lin Yi wanted to do. Lin Yi nodded. That completion ceremony, when does it start? 6 at night, Fatty Lai said. Oh, it's already started. Let's go. Lin Yi looked at the time on his phone. Fatty Lai didn't drive his own car. He got on Lin Yi's broken van. He had to give Lin Yi directions. As for the trenching machine, bulldozer, and the demolition team, Fatty Lai had already called them to be on standby near Qibing's skyscraper. Zhao Qibing had long forgotten about the unhappiness in the morning. Other than feeling that it was a pity that a girl as beautiful as a goddess had her face ruined, he didn't have any other thoughts. To him, the people in the slums were no different from ants. It was a piece of cake to stomp them to death. Right now, he had more important things to do. Today was a big day for Qibing real estate. Chapter 583. Tit for tat among them were Jiangwen, Taizao, and the disciples of the 5 small noble houses. The 4 noble houses didn't live near Jiangshan, so they couldn't participate. However, one disciple from House Sun came. Wu Chintian was originally in Songshan as well, but old Wu had just been discharged from the hospital, so he had to deal with some family matters before coming back. But even so, it made the completion ceremony a lot more exciting. Jiangwen, Taizao, the disciples of the 5 small noble houses, House Sun. These people all had strong social connections, and so they brought a lot of people with them. The lobby of Qibing Hotel was already bustling with noise and excitement. Qibing stood on the stage, raising his glass high, very pleased with the current situation. These people represented the various powers in Songshan, and even the province. This meant that his business in Songshan would definitely be very successful in the future. Thank you everyone, for coming to the completion ceremony of Qibing Real Estate's office building, Qibing Skyscraper. Let us raise our glasses and celebrate this joyous moment. Qibing raised his glass and continued, let us drink this glass of wine and open the Qibing Skyscraper together. The guests raised their glasses as well, drinking with Qibing. But at that moment, there was a sudden explosion that made everyone jump in fright. Following the loud noise was an earthquake that shook the mountains. Someone shouted, "It's collapsing, the skyscraper outside is collapsing." Qibing looked towards the direction of the shout and saw that the newly completed skyscraper, which hadn't been opened yet, collapsed with a loud noise. There were many bulldozers and trenching machines around the skyscraper, not only destroying the facilities around it, but also the parking lot and landscaping around the skyscraper. In the blink of an eye, a 10,000-meter-tall skyscraper was flattened. Qibing's eyes widened as if he had seen a ghost, but he quickly reacted. Someone was demolishing his skyscraper. Qibing couldn't care less about the guests and rushed out of the restaurant, but Uncle Zhu followed him closely. Lin Yi stood in between the skyscraper and the restaurant, watching coldly as Qibing's skyscraper was flattened. "If you tear down Tang Yun's house, I'll tear down your skyscraper." Fatty Lai had been building for many years, but this was the first time he'd torn down a building that had just been built. Seeing a 10,000-meter-tall building collapse in an instant, he was overjoyed. Only Big Boss would be able to do something like this. "Who are you? What are you doing?" Qibing's eyes were about to spit fire. He didn't know where these people came from, but they were tearing down his newly built building the moment they arrived. How could Qibing not be hysterical? "You're Zhao Qibing?" Lin Yi looked at him coldly. "That's right." Qibing took a deep breath, regaining his calmness. If the person in front of him knew who he was, then he should know who he was. Even then, they still dared to come and tear down his building. What was the meaning of that? Although Zhao Qibing wanted to tear Lin Yi's body into a million pieces right now, he was the one who made him look bad. The completion ceremony turned into a demolition ceremony. This made Zhao Qibing lose a lot of face. It was even more humiliating than before. "I'm Tang Yun's boyfriend." Lin Yi nodded and said faintly, "You destroyed her house, but you still owe me a pair of legs. I'll also disfigure your face." "Tang Yun?" Qibing froze, but after hearing Lin Yi say that he destroyed her house, disfigured her face, and owed her a pair of legs, he knew who Lin Yi was talking about. Wasn't it the pretty girl he had his eyes on this morning? But Qibing didn't expect that Tang Yun had such a powerful boyfriend. These bulldozers and trenching machines couldn't be gathered by normal people in such a short amount of time. Lin Yi didn't give him a chance to speak. He walked towards him step by step. "You won't live past this year." "Uncle Zhu, kill him." Qibing didn't put Lin Yi in his eyes. Lin Yi had already made him lose all his face. If he didn't kill Lin Yi to vent his anger, then he wouldn't be able to raise his head in front of all these people. As for the consequences of killing Lin Yi, Qibing didn't need to think about it. These people knew his background, and they wouldn't dare to say anything. Plus, these people's underlings weren't that clean, and they wouldn't expose Qibing. Lin Yi ignored Qibing and continued walking towards him. Uncle Zhu moved and slapped towards Lin Yi. Lin Yi's eyes flashed with a strange light as he blocked Uncle Zhu's attack with his palm. With a loud bang, Uncle Zhu took a few steps back and spat out a mouthful of blood. His breathing stagnated. Uncle Zhu looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. Mystic class. This person was a mystic class as well. Lin Yi's throat felt sweet, but he didn't retreat. He continued to approach Qibing step by step. Qibing was dumbfounded as well. He knew how strong Uncle Zhu was. He was a mystic class master. It wasn't a common sight in the family, and it was precisely because of his father's love for him that he sent Uncle Zhu to take care of him. But a master like that was pushed back by Lin Yi with just one palm, and even made him spit blood? How was this possible? This young man in front of him wasn't even 20 years old, right? Uncle Zhu wanted to rush over to save Qibing, but he had just exchanged a palm strike with Lin Yi, and suffered quite a bit of internal injury. His breathing hadn't stabilized yet, and he couldn't move at all. He couldn't even speak. Qibing was finally afraid. He was arrogant, but he wasn't an idiot. Someone who could push Uncle Zhu back was a piece of cake for him. He turned around, not caring about his face anymore. He wanted to run. However, Lin Yi stood in front of him. "Leave your legs," Lin Yi said faintly. "I'm a descendant of House Zhao. You can't do this." Qibing revealed his identity. "My father is Zhao Guangyin." "Who's Zhao Guangyin?" "I don't know him." "Is he Zhao Guangyin's brother?" Lin Yi slapped Qibing's head, making him look unrecognizable. Blood flowed from his face, and he didn't know where he was injured. How strong was Lin Yi's strength? Zhao Qibing's head flipped and he fainted. But in the next moment, Zhao Qibing woke up again as he clearly felt the pain in his legs and the crisp sound of his bones breaking. Crack, crack, Qibing fainted again. Chapter 584. Lin Yi was injured. Let go of Master Bing. Uncle Zhu had finished adjusting his breathing and quickly stood in front of Lin Yi. Mystic early phase, I know your strength. Although you're stronger than me, I will protect Master Bing with my life. Lin Yi smiled coldly as he glanced at Master Bing on the ground, then at Uncle Zhu. I've done what I wanted to do. Let's leave Songshan City, or else I might remember what he did. Threat. This was a blatant threat. Uncle Zhu's face changed. Ever since he entered Mystic class, he had never been threatened by anyone. One had to know that in the common world, Mystic class masters were rare, but this young man in front of him, who looked less than 20 years old, had the strength of an early phase Mystic class. Don't be too arrogant. With your strength, you're not strong enough. But before Uncle Zhu could finish, Lin Yi had already turned around and left. Ignored. It was another blatant disregard. This made Uncle Zhu's face turn even uglier. However, he had no other choice. If he fought with Lin Yi, it was hard to say who would die. Uncle Zhu had no way to deal with him. What's more, he was like a crossbow that was forced to stand. He felt that he could fall to the ground at any time. Lin Yi got into the van. Fatty Lai, who was already waiting in the car, gave him a thumbs up. Boss, you're too awesome. You dared to cripple Zhao Qibing's legs in this situation. Drive. Lin Yi spat out a mouthful of blood onto the windshield of the van. He started coughing non-stop. Boss, what's wrong? Fatty Lai was shocked. He thought that Lin Yi was very powerful just now. Who knew that Lin Yi was injured? Drive, hurry and find a quiet place. Lin Yi panted as he ordered Fatty Lai. Fatty Lai nodded and didn't dare to delay. He quickly started the car and disappeared from the Qibing skyscraper. Fatty Lai wanted to send Lin Yi to the hospital, but on second thought, Lin Yi was a miracle doctor. Why would he go to the hospital? He naturally had his reasons for wanting her to go to a quieter place. With that in mind, Fatty Lai sped towards his villa. Lin Yi had been holding his breath until now. His only thought was to avenge Tang Yun. That was why he didn't show any signs of injury after taking Uncle Zhu's attack. He did want to do something to Zhao Qibing, but he couldn't take it anymore. Lin Yi didn't think that a bastard would have an early Mystic class master by his side. Were Mystic class masters too cheap, or were those hidden families too powerful? He had underestimated his opponent. He thought that he could kill Zhao Qibing this year, but he didn't. Making someone die slowly was Lin Yi's specialty. Lin Yi said that he wouldn't kill Zhao Qibing today, but that didn't mean that he wouldn't kill him tomorrow or in the future. Lin Yi felt an indescribable discomfort. His internal organs had shifted. An early-stage Mystic class master could be said to be on the same level as Lin Yi. It was just that Lin Yi practiced the art of dragon mastery, so he was able to take the hit and break Zhao Qibing's legs. Uncle Zhu, on the other hand, almost fainted. When they reached Fatty Lai's villa, Fatty Lai didn't bother to lock his car. In fact, he wouldn't lose his car even if he didn't lock it. Fatty Lai helped Lin Yi back to the villa, and Fatty Lai's wife jumped in fright. She wanted to ask something, but Fatty Lai glared back at her. Fatty Lai helped Lin Yi into the guest room. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Guard the door, don't let anyone disturb me. Yes, boss. Fatty Lai nodded and closed the door for Lin Yi. Lin Yi fell onto the bed and entered the jade space. Only by absorbing a large amount of pure energy could he recover quickly. Fortunately, he had this treasure. If it was a normal person, they would die without any elixirs in the outside world. In fact, Uncle Zhu felt like he was about to die. It was only after Lin Yi left that Sihua dared to run over. He knew how strong Lin Yi was, after all. Even 2 golden class masters had fallen to his hands. He didn't know how strong this Uncle Zhu was, but the fact that he was with Master Bing meant that he was stronger than the 2 golden class masters from before. Could he be a Mystic class master? Sihua didn't dare imagine. Someone as strong as him was beaten to the point of vomiting blood by Lin Yi? What kind of strength did Lin Yi have? Master Bing, how are you? Sihua ran over to check on Qibing's injuries. After all, it was fine if Uncle Zhu died, but if Qibing died, it would be a huge problem. Master Bing is fine. Just a broken leg. I can't hold on anymore. Call the head and ask Yao to save me. Uncle Zhu knew his situation. If he didn't have elixirs and relied on his own recovery, he would die in a few days. Sihua jumped in fright, quickly dialing up the house head's number after hearing Uncle Zhu's words. Jiangwen, Taizao, and the others who were watching from the back were also shocked at Lin Yi's boldness. He dared to hurt someone in public. Of course, Jiangwen, Taizao, and the others, including Sihua, didn't know Uncle Zhu's true strength. Jiangwen, Taizao, and the others would be shocked if they knew that Uncle Zhu was a mystic, right? This Lin Yi was too strong, defeating a mystic class master in one hit? They didn't see that Lin Yi was injured, so they thought that Uncle Zhu was just a useless bodyguard. But at this moment, no one dared to come over. Everyone knew about Master Bing's mysterious background, so wouldn't they embarrass Master Bing even more? Wouldn't they be asking for trouble? The completion ceremony of Qi Bing's skyscraper had become a joke. Completion? What completion? The house had already been demolished by others. Sihua didn't think that Lin Yi would be this ruthless. Not only did he bring people to demolish Qi Bing's skyscraper, but he even broke Master Bing's legs. How could this person be so unscrupulous? Sihua thought that he was already a very domineering person in Songshan, but compared to Lin Yi, he was still a far cry. Thinking back to the time when he threatened Lin Yi, Sihua couldn't help but feel a little scared. If Lin Yi really wanted to make things difficult for him, then the floating cloud bar would be gone, wouldn't it? Sihua sighed. It seemed that he had underestimated this opponent too much. This Lin Yi was someone that Peng Zhan could find, so he was obviously not an ordinary person. Chapter 585. What's the matter? Oh, little Li, what's up? It was the deep male voice that came from the other side of the phone. This person was Zhao Guangyin, the young master of House Zhao. Behind him was the old man of House Zhao, which was why Guangyin didn't dare to openly acknowledge Zhao Qibing as his illegitimate son. Boss, it's bad. Master Bing's face and legs were broken. Uncle Zhu was injured as well, and Qibing's skyscraper was destroyed. Sihua couldn't hide the shock in his heart as he spoke. There was a moment of silence on the other side of the phone, followed by Guangyin's incredulous voice. What did you say? Little Bing's legs were broken, and Mr. Zhu was injured? How is that possible? Mr. Zhu is an early-phase mystic class master. It's rare even in the common world. Are you having a fever? How could Little Bing become enemies with someone like that? Early-phase mystic class? Sihua's mouth opened wide in shock once more. He knew that Uncle Zhu was very strong. After all, Master Bing's men couldn't be weaker than the 2 golden class masters Guangyin sent to him, right? But now that he heard Guangyin say that Uncle Zhu was an early-phase mystic class master, Sihua was shocked once more. Someone as strong as him was injured so badly by Lin Yi's attack that he couldn't take it anymore? What kind of existence was Lin Yi? Was he stronger than an early-phase mystic class master? Give me the phone, I'll talk to the master. Uncle Zhu started channeling his practitioner's arts, adjusting his breathing and recovering some of his stamina as he signaled to Sihua. Sihua hurriedly passed the phone to Uncle Zhu. Guangyin would only believe Uncle Zhu's words. In fact, Sihua didn't believe that a 19-year-old boy like Lin Yi could defeat Uncle Zhu. This world was too crazy, or were mystic class masters so worthless? Mr. Zhu. I'm Guangyin. How are you? Guangyin still couldn't believe that Uncle Zhu was injured. It was too unbelievable. He had only been in Songshan for a few days. How did Qibing meet such a strong opponent? To be able to injure a mystic class master, he must be a reclusive old geezer, right? These old fellows were all pursuing greater strength. So how could they have the mind to pay attention to the trivial matters of the secular world? Patriarch, it's me. I can only hold on for 2 more days. I've suffered internal injuries. Please ask the medicine king to save me. Uncle Zhu's tone was very weak. Without any miraculous pills and medicines, the natural energy of nature is not enough to heal my injuries. What? It was only after hearing Uncle Zhu's words that Guangyin completely believed Sihua's words. Uncle Zhu was injured. Moreover, his injuries were not light. But hearing that Uncle Zhu could still hold on for 2 more days, Zhao Guangyin let out a sigh of relief. He was glad that Uncle Zhu could recover. Uncle Zhu was only in his 40s, and he was one of the most promising experts in the family to advance into the Earth class. If he really died like this, and it was because of his illegitimate son, then his position as the head of the family would be shaken. Zhao Guangyin took a deep breath and asked, How is Xiao Bing? Master Bing doesn't have any fatal injuries. Both his legs are broken, and his face is disfigured. But with Yao Wang personally treating him, there shouldn't be any side effects, Uncle Zhu said. That's good. Hearing that his son was fine, Zhao Guangyin finally let out a sigh of relief. I'll ask Yao Wang to go over right now. Also, I want to know the cause of this incident and what happened. I'll let Sihua tell you about this. Uncle Zhu didn't know much about the cause and what happened, because he didn't need to know. His duty was to protect Master Bing's safety, and as for the company's operations, he didn't care. So until now, Uncle Zhu still didn't know how Zhao Qibing made such a big enemy. One had to know that a mystic-class master, although the hidden noble houses wouldn't pay attention to him, but in the secular world, in the 4 big and 5 small noble houses, he was an extremely powerful existence. He was someone who could do whatever he wanted, and all the heads of the noble houses had to give face to him. How many days had it been since Zhao Qibing came to Songshan? How many days had he created such a strong opponent? Although that person was at the early phase of mystic class, the same strength as Uncle Zhu could feel that Lin Yi's practice was much purer than his. Under the situation where they were at the same level, he wouldn't be able to fight against Lin Yi. If he knew that Lin Yi had just entered the mystic class 2 days ago and hadn't consolidated his strength yet, Uncle Zhu would probably vomit blood again. He had been in the mystic class for almost 10 years, and he had only reached the peak of the early phase of mystic class, and was advancing towards the mid-phase of mystic class. Sihua took the phone. He knew that Uncle Zhu and Master Bing were fine for the time being, so he wasn't that worried anymore. He started from Zhao Qibing's demolition of the slums, how he fell in love with Lin Yi's girlfriend, and how he destroyed Tang Yun's house, injuring Tang Yun and Tang Juqing. After that, he followed Lin Yi to take revenge. Of course, Sihua hated Lin Yi very much. Back then, the 2 golden class masters by his side died in Lin Yi's hands, so there was no new master in place. This made Sihua lose his confidence even when he went out. If it wasn't for Lin Yi, he wouldn't have ended up like this. Moreover, what annoyed him the most was that if it wasn't for Lin Yi, a part of Pengzhan Industries would have become Master Bing's property. Why would he and Jin Gubong invest to build a new building for Master Bing, the headquarters of Qibing Real Estate? Boss, the 2 golden class masters who were with me were killed by this kid. We can't let him get away with it. Sihua added after he was done narrating the story. Boss, the 2 golden class masters with me were killed by this kid. We can't let him go. If it wasn't for him, we would have gotten the real estate company we gave to Master Bing a long time ago, and maybe Pengzhan Industries would have been ours as well. But this kid stopped us, and now he injured Master Bing and Uncle Zhu. We can't let him go. At first, Sihua thought that Guangyin would be furious, but this time, Guangyin was very calm. His voice was calm as well. This Lin Yi, let's not provoke him for now. Let's wait for Yao Wang to go and test him first. Although Guangyin was furious, he wasn't an idiot. If Lin Yi could injure Uncle Zhu, it meant that he had reached mystic class. But what did a 20-year-old mystic class master represent? Qibing didn't believe that Lin Yi was someone who trained himself. Chapter 586. House Zhao's head. So, Lin Yi probably had a huge family backing him, but which hidden house did he come from? In order to deal with Lin Yi, he had to get to the bottom of Lin Yi's background. He couldn't act recklessly. If Lin Yi really was a master nurtured by a hidden house and was killed by him, then that hidden house would go all out against House Zhao. Mystic at 20, his future was limitless. He might even reach the late phase of Earth class or even Sky class. If House Zhao killed him, then Lin Yi's family would go crazy. But they couldn't rule out the possibility that Lin Yi was just lucky, or maybe he ate some miraculous elixir, or maybe he broke through on his own. If that was the case, then they could just kill Lin Yi right away. It was the first time Sihua heard the head of the house speak in such a tone. He paused for a moment, but still replied, "All right, I understand." The ambulance came, and Sihua sent Master Bing and Uncle Zhu to the hospital for some simple treatment. Then, he waited for Yao Wang to come personally. Guangyin, on the other hand, put down the phone and sighed. He stood up with a serious expression, walked out of the room, and walked towards an independent villa. "Young master, you're here." Guangyin was stopped by an old man the moment he arrived at the door. The old man spoke politely, but he didn't seem to have any intention of letting Guangyin in. "Elder Bai, I'm here to see my father." Guangyin didn't mind at all. Instead, He spoke respectfully to the old man. This was because Elder Bai was one of the few masters left in House Xiao, a guard of House Xiao. He was Guangyin's father's right-hand man. He was single, unmarried, and had no children. He stayed by Guangyin's father's side even when he was old, being a responsible right-hand man. Please wait a moment, young master. I'll report to the head of the house. Elder Bai nodded and went back into the villa, while Guangyin stood at the door respectfully, not daring to do anything. After a while, Elder Bai came out again and nodded to Guangyin. Young leader, the leader wants you in. In actuality, Zhao Guangyin was already the head of the Zhao family. Old Zhao had stepped down from the position a few years ago to focus on cultivation. But in Elder Bai's eyes, old Zhao would always be the head of the Zhao family, and Guangyin was just the young head. However, Zhao Guangyin didn't have any other thoughts about this form of address. After all, although he was the head of the family, there were many situations where he had to ask his father for instructions. He could use the mystic class masters in the family, but earth class masters like Elder Bai, he couldn't. Zhao Guangyin respectfully entered the villa and saw that his father was already sitting in the living room, quietly sipping on a cup of tea. Zhao Guangyin hurriedly bowed and said, "Father." "Yes, what do you need me for?" Old Zhao had always been focused on cultivation, looking for the opportunity to break through to earth class. He didn't really care about the family's business anymore, and unless it was something big, Guangyin wouldn't bother him. In actuality, the hidden noble houses didn't care about the common world's business. Although they had some companies and representatives in the common world, they weren't as powerful as the 4 great worlds and the 5 small noble houses. These people were just there to make money for the family, and they didn't need much in terms of material needs. With the wealth they had accumulated over the generations, they didn't even need to run a company outside to survive. Running a company outside meant that they didn't want to run out of money, so they used the profits to keep the family afloat. They didn't want to touch the family business if they could. That was the only way to ensure the family's prosperity. The most important thing was that the hidden noble houses had an agreement with each other to not get involved in the common world's business. Otherwise, the common world would be filled with Wulin masters, and the rules would be messed up. If they all came out, would the noble houses still have a way out? Plus, they pursued the highest level of martial arts, and their desire was to reach the peak and live forever. They had no interest in the outside world. Dad Lil Bing's legs were crippled, and Mr. Zhu was seriously injured. Zhao Guangyin naturally had to report such a big matter to the old master. Old Zhao's eyes flashed. Lil Zhu is a mystic early phase, right? How did he get injured? Other than the U branch, who else in the common world would have a master like that? Old Zhao's words were like a wake-up call. Guangyin suddenly remembered that his wife's family was House Yu, wasn't it? Could it be that his wife found out that he had a bastard son outside, and sent someone to deal with Zhao Qibing? Qibing's face changed at the thought, and he started to get nervous. Could it be House Yu? Did Yu Xiaojin find out about Lil Bing? Yu Xiaojin was Qibing's wife, a member of House Yu. She was the youngest daughter of House Yu, and old Yu loved her dearly. It was possible that it was Yu Xiaojin who did it. Xiaojin knew about Lil Bing a long time ago. She didn't cause trouble with you because she's a sensible person. If you didn't bring Zhao Qibing back, she'd turn a blind eye to it. As for sending someone to deal with Lil Bing, that's impossible. Old Zhao said, unless Lil Bing threatens her son's position, which is your youngest son. So it's not House Yu? Guangyin paused, not expecting his wife to know about Zhao Qibing. He thought she didn't know. He couldn't help but smile bitterly at the thought. The women of House Yu were really not simple. It was a marriage of mutual benefit, but she'd been gentle and polite all these years, taking care of his daily life. It was hard to imagine that she used to be the daughter of House Yu. I didn't say that. Old Yu isn't someone who likes to lose out, and he loves Xiaojin the most. It's possible that he'd send someone to deal with Lil Bing for Xiaojin. Old Zhao shook his head. Don't put too much hope on Lil Bing. I don't think he's a spoiled young master. Of course, our Zhao family won't be bullied so easily. I understand this matter. Spread the word and put a bounty on this person's head among all the hidden families. If other families speak up, then consider it. If no one says anything, then that means this person isn't from a hidden family. Chapter 587. The girl from House Yu, of course. If no one cared, then House Zhao would be able to kill Lin Yi without a care in the world. But, Guangyin was more inclined to believe that it was House Yu who did it. How could it be so coincidental? Qibing went to a small slum area in Songshan to demolish a house, and he was able to find a mystic class master. Weren't there too many masters in this world? Guangyin didn't believe that there wasn't a reason behind this, so he decided to tell Xiaojin about it when he got back. After all, Xiaojin already knew about Qibing's situation, and she was Qibing's aunt. Even if House Yu did it, they'd have to give an explanation. Guangyin said goodbye to Elder Zhao and returned to his villa. He found his wife, Xiaojin, and told her about Zhao Qibing. Of course, Guangyin was very sincere in admitting the mistakes he made when he was young and begging for his wife's forgiveness. Xiaojin didn't say anything, only smiling as she listened to her husband. She shook her head. I knew about Qibing a long time ago. I just wanted to see when you would be honest with me. Not only me, but my father knows as well, so I don't think it's us who did it. If we wanted to teach him a lesson, we would have done it long ago. Guangyin pretended to be surprised and moved to tears. Xiaojin, so you knew about it all along? I really don't know what to say. Our marriage was for the family's benefit, but after all these years, we've developed feelings for each other, and we have a child. I don't want to dwell on the past, but I have one condition, and that is that your child cannot return to House Zhao. Xiaojin made it very clear. He won't, Guangyin promised. As for whether or not that Lin Yi is from House Yu, I'll ask Big Brother for you. Xiaojin said. Zhao Guangyin let out a sigh of relief. As long as it wasn't someone from House Yu, everything would be fine. House Yu was one of the strongest hidden houses. Who would have thought that the abandoned bastard of House Yu, one of the 4 great houses of the common world, would actually rebuild House Yu, turning the head of the 4 great houses of the common world, House Yu. It seemed like a joke, but it was the truth. Of course, it was said that this bastard, Yu Xiaojin's father, had a fortuitous encounter that allowed him to break through Earth class and become a Sky class. That was more than 10 years ago. No one knew how strong he was now. As for what was above the heaven rank, only that mysterious man, whose name had once shaken the world, knew. House Yu was the envy of all the houses, but it was also a mountain that couldn't be imitated or surpassed. Who asked them to be so lucky? Lin Yi's arrest warrant was quickly sent out. Of course, it was only limited to the hidden aristocratic families. As for the 4 great aristocratic families and the 5 small aristocratic families, Zhao Guangyin didn't even bother to ask. Those aristocratic families in the common world couldn't possibly have a master like Lin Yi. It was a place with verdant hills and limpid waters, with several European-style ancient castles standing tall. A fairy-like girl sat in front of the window, drawing something on a drawing board. Sometimes she frowned, and sometimes she smiled. Hearing the sound of footsteps coming from the door, the girl quickly closed the drawing board in her hand and combed the hair in front of her forehead, trying to make her expression normal. Just as she turned around, the door of the room was pushed open. The girl's heart tightened, and the corner of her mouth curled up beautifully. 2 dimples appeared on her rosy cheeks. Brother, why didn't you knock again? Hey, didn't you leave the door unlocked? A handsome boy casually walked into the room and said with a smile. Huh? Little sister, why is your face so red? Don't tell me you're fantasizing again? The girl frowned. Brother, what are you saying? That's so bad. Hee hee, let me see what you're drawing. The boy jumped in front of the girl in a few steps, trying to snatch the drawing board from the girl's table. The girl was shocked, and she grabbed the drawing board tightly, not letting the boy take it. However, she wasn't as strong as the boy, and she couldn't help but get angry. Let go! The boy didn't let go, and pulled on the drawing board with all his might. The girl was afraid that he would ruin the work she had been working on for almost a month, and could only let go. However, her beautiful eyes were filled with anger as she glared at the boy. Ha! You dare say you're not fantasizing? Look, they're holding hands. Ha 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 ha. The boy laughed. None of your business. The girl grabbed the drawing back from the boy's hand when he wasn't paying attention, and closed the drawing board. It was a very beautiful sketch. On the drawing, a young girl and a man were holding hands as they ran happily on a grassland filled with birds and fragrant flowers. That young girl was herself. Little sister, Dad received a call just now, and I think he mentioned someone's name. The boy looked at the girl with a smile. The girl's heart tightened, but she said, Who? What does it have to do with me? If you don't want to know, then forget it. Pretend I never came. With that, the boy turned around and walked out. Brother, tell me, what did Dad say? The girl was panicking and she stared at the boy. If you don't tell me, I won't talk to you anymore. Dad received a call just now, and it seemed like Auntie asked if there was a person named Lin Yi in our house. That's all I heard. I don't know anything else. The boy quickly said what he heard. Auntie? She called Dad? The girl was startled, not understanding why Auntie would suddenly ask about this. What did Dad say? Dad said he doesn't know. The boy shrugged. Even if he does know, he'll pretend he doesn't know. The girl really wanted to call her auntie right now, but that would make things even more complicated. In the end, she put down the phone and said softly, Brother, help me. Of course I'll help, the boy said with a smile. Lin Yi is my bro, and I want him to be my brother-in-law too. Don't worry, leave it to me. I'll continue to ask around for you. Fatty Lai anxiously stood guard in front of Lin Yi's room, not knowing how Lin Yi was doing. He didn't dare to go in and ask, afraid that he would disturb Lin Yi's recovery. Old Lai, who's inside? Why are you so nervous? Why did you bring strangers into our house? Fatty Lai's wife looked at Fatty Lai and asked curiously. What do you know? That's my boss. I'm following him now. Fatty Lai glared at his wife. Shut up and get me something to eat, I'm starving. Chapter 588. Chapter 588. Miss Phone Wife Lai was afraid of the responsibility, so she reminded him. However, Fatty Lai was adamant, so she didn't say anything else. In fact, Fatty Lai was a smart man. Wife Lai knew that he wouldn't bring a dying person back for no reason. Fatty Lai paced back and forth in front of Lin Yi's door. Wife Lai quickly brought a bowl of noodles. Fatty Lai took 2 bites and Lin Yi's phone rang. Fatty Lai looked at the caller ID. It was Tang Yun. He quickly picked up the phone. Hello, sister-in-law. Fatty Lai? Where's Lin Yi? Why isn't he picking up? Tang Yun was very worried about Lin Yi's safety. Lin Yi hadn't come back after a few hours. He didn't even call. How could she not be worried? The two of them had just resolved their misunderstanding. They were stuck together like glue. Tang Yun wanted Lin Yi to come back quickly and stay by her side. Fatty Lai hesitated. Boss is fine. He's a little tired. He wants to sleep for a while. Sleep for a while? Tang Yun froze. She felt that something was wrong. Fatty Lai, tell me. What's wrong with Lin Yi? Wake him up. Sister-in-law, boss is really tired. He just wants to rest for a while. Fatty Lai didn't want to lie to Tang Yun, but Lin Yi had told him not to tell Tang Yun. Fatty Lai was in a difficult position. He didn't know how to answer Tang Yun. After all, Tang Yun and Lin Yi had a special relationship. A normal reason wouldn't work. Fatty Lai, if you don't tell me the truth, I won't let Lin Yi talk to you anymore. Tang Yun threatened anxiously. Hey! Fatty Lai screamed. He was troubled. Although Lin Yi didn't tell him to tell Tang Yun used Lin Yi to threaten him. Fatty Lai didn't know what to do. He's fine. Don't forget that boss is a miracle doctor. He's healing. Lin Yi's injured? Tang Yin asked, startled. Where are you guys now? He's at my house. Don't worry, sister-in-law. I'll tell Lin Yi to call you back when he wakes up. Fatty Lai explained. No, I'll go over now. Where's your house? Tang Yun panicked. Lin Yi was injured because of her. How could Tang Yun not visit Lin Yi? All right. Fatty Lai couldn't refuse, so he agreed. I'll get my wife to pick you up. It's late, and I'm worried. Then, I'll be troubling you. Tang Yun didn't want to be polite with Fatty Lai anymore. After all, it was related to Lin Yi's safety. Tang Yun didn't want to argue too much. The car number is Song A1234A, a red Porsche. Fatty Lai told Tang Yun his wife's car number. He didn't want Tang Yun to get into the wrong car. After hanging up the phone, Fatty Lai called his wife over and asked her to pick up Tang Yun. Although his wife was confused, she didn't ask much. She went to the garage to get the car and drove to the hospital. From her point of view, someone that Fatty Lai paid so much attention to must be someone important. However, just when Tang Yun hung up, Lin Yi's phone rang again. Fatty Lai picked it up and froze when he saw the caller ID. Because what was written on it was eldest miss. Who was Miss? Fatty Lai didn't know what was going on. If Lin Yi called her Miss, she must be someone important. Fatty Lai quickly picked up the phone. Lin Yi, where did you go? Why aren't you back yet? My daddy is here. Under normal circumstances, Meng Yao wouldn't ask about Lin Yi's whereabouts. But today, Lin Yi ran away without telling her. Meng Yao was unhappy. Besides, her father was here. He wanted to have dinner with Lin Yi. It was a way to thank Lin Yi for saving her. Peng Zhan's company was very busy. He only had time tonight. He asked Faubert to prepare some food from the restaurant and planned to have a drink with Lin Yi. But after waiting for a long time, Lin Yi didn't come back. Meng Yao asked Meng Yao to call him. If it was any other time, Meng Yao would ask Yushu to make the call. But her father was here, so she called him herself. Fatty Lai heard Meng Yao's tone and jumped in fright. Who was this miss? How dare she talk to Lin Yi like this? Moreover, who was her father? Why did she ask Lin Yi to have dinner with her? Could she be Lin Yi's boss? Her tone confused Fatty Lai a little. He didn't know who the miss was. Ugh, I'm sorry. I'm not Lin Yi. Fatty Lai said carefully. You're not Lin Yi? Where's Lin Yi? Meng Yao asked curiously. It wasn't Lin Yi. May I know who you are? Fatty Lai wanted to confirm the miss's identity before deciding if he should tell the truth. I'm Lin Yi's. I'm his boss. Meng Yao thought about it for a long time. She couldn't figure out her relationship with Lin Yi. So she came up with the term boss. And who are you? Fatty Lai jumped when he heard that it was Lin Yi's boss. Lin Yi's boss. Wasn't that his boss's boss? Fatty Lai quickly said, Hello, boss. Boss. What's that? Meng Yao didn't know what was going on. Lin Yi's my boss, so you're my boss's boss. Naturally, your boss. Fatty Lai explained. Oh, I don't care who you are. I'm looking for Lin Yi. Meng Yao was confused by Fatty Lai's words. Boss. He's injured. Fatty Lai said. He's healing now. What? Lin Yi's injured? Meng Yao was shocked. How did Lin Yi get injured? He couldn't help but feel nervous and anxious. What's going on? Is he all right? I don't know. He coughed up blood. He's healing in his room now. I don't dare go in. Fatty Lai replied carefully. Since the person was Lin Yi's boss, he didn't dare lie. Fatty Lai couldn't be blamed for believing Meng Yao's identity. After all, Lin Yi had the name Miss on his phone. Coughed up blood? Meng Yao's heart tightened. She had never felt so worried before. She said anxiously, Where are you? I'll be there right away. It's so late. Should I get a car to pick you up? Fatty Lai didn't dare to delay. After all, he was the boss's boss. I have a car. Meng Yao interrupted Fatty Lai. Where is it? Hurry up. Chapter 589. The Miss and Tang Yun. Meng Yao didn't say anything and hung up the phone. Meng Yao was panicking. Other than her parents and her best friend, Yushu, she'd never been this worried about anyone before. Fatty Lai said that Lin Yi was injured and even vomited blood. Meng Yao's heart was in a mess. Even if she had some complaints about Lin Yi, it all turned into worry at this moment. Dad, Lin Yi's injured. I have to go check on him. Meng Yao said to Peng Zhan and pulled Yushu out. Peng Zhan wanted to go check on Lin Yi when he heard that he was injured, but he hesitated when he saw his daughter's anxious expression. He sat back down and said, Be careful on the road. Peng Zhan was quite satisfied with his daughter's relationship with Lin Yi. It seemed that his daughter's care for Lin Yi was more than just that of a follower. Yushu was eating a sweet potato. It was a hot dish, and it wouldn't taste good if she didn't eat it while it was hot. Although Lin Yi wasn't here yet, that was Yushu's personality. No one would say anything if she started eating first. Oh. Yao Yao sis, why are you pulling me? Yushu had just stuffed a piece of sweet potato into her mouth when Meng Yao pulled her. She almost choked to death. Her eyes rolled back. She was busy eating in the dining room and didn't hear the conversation between Meng Yao and Peng Zhan in the living room. Your shield bro's injured. Are you going to check on him? Meng Yao glared at her. How could she eat so much? Why wasn't she fat? Or did her muscles grow to her breasts? She was quite envious of her physique. Ah, I'll go. How did Shield Bro get injured? Yushu was shocked when she heard that. She ran out with Meng Yao. I don't know. Meng Yao shook her head and went to the garage to get her Audi S5. She drove Yushu to lead shore. Behind them, Faubert's Bentley also followed. Faubert and Pengzhan followed behind, worried that something might happen to the two girls in the middle of the night. Still, they wouldn't go see Lin Yi with them. Qianhua Waterfront District wasn't too far from Meng Yao's villa. Although he called later, he reached Fatty Lai's house first. Fatty Lai's wife, on the other hand, had to rush to the First People's Hospital from the Qianhua Shuiyan District to the First People's Hospital. Naturally, she would be slower. Lai Changyi. Meng Yao recognized Fatty Lai as soon as she entered. Although she didn't know many people, she had attended many famous entrepreneurs' parties with her father. She remembered the names of some of the more powerful bosses in Songshan. Lai Changyi was one of them. Plus, his fat body left a deep impression on Meng Yao. Your big boss? You know me? Fatty Lai was pleasantly surprised. Having a good relationship with Big Boss would benefit him in the future. My name is Meng Yao. What big boss? It sounds terrible. Meng Yao frowned. Where's Lin Yi? Fatty Lai pointed at a closed door. He's inside but he won't let me in. He asked me to guard the door for him. What's going on? Meng Yao was worried about Lin Yi, but since Lin Yi didn't let others in, she couldn't just push the door open. It wouldn't be good if she helped and made things worse. Fatty Lai didn't dare to hide anything. He told her about how Lin Yi helped Tang Yun get revenge. From his point of view, Meng Yao was Lin Yi's boss. She should know about Lin Yi's girlfriend. Tang Yun? Meng Yao heard that Lin Yi was injured because he was avenging Tang Yun, and she felt uncomfortable. Why? You're my shield, yet you're taking revenge for another girl, and you're even injured. Have you ever asked for my permission? Did I allow you to go? This Tang Yun was too much. Most importantly, didn't Lin Yi break up with Tang Yun? She turned to Yushu. The spy, Shu007, didn't you say that Lin Yi broke up with Tang Yun? Ugh. Yushu heard it from someone else. She was unhappy when she heard that Lin Yi got injured because of Tang Yun. If it was for Yao Yao sis, it would be fine. But for another girl, she pouted. Looking at Yushu's face, Meng Yao knew that there was something wrong with her source. She glared at her and didn't ask any more. The more she thought about it, the more uncomfortable she felt. She wanted to see how Lin Yi was, but she couldn't. She could only stand in front of the door. Fatty Lai saw that Meng Yao didn't say anything. He didn't dare to reply. He stood beside Meng Yao carefully, waiting for her orders. After a while, the sound of a car came from outside the villa. It was followed by the sound of the door opening. A girl stumbled into the villa. Who else could it be if it wasn't Tang Yun? Tang Yun ran out from the bed directly. She didn't even change out of the hospital gown. Her head was still wrapped in bandages. She followed Fatty Lai's wife. Beside her was Lu Xinwen. Fatty Lai, how's Lin Yi? Where is he? Tang Yun rushed over. Although Meng Yao and Yushu were there, she ignored them. In her eyes, there was only Lin Yi's safety. It was good enough that she could see Fatty Lai. Humph. He won't die. Meng Yao snorted before Fatty Lai could speak. When she saw Tang Yun, her heart was filled with rage. Lin Yi was injured because of Tang Yun, so she didn't like Tang Yun at all. Seeing Tang Yun stumbling over, she was a little angry. But Meng Yao forgot that she was the same when she came in. Ah! Tang Yun saw Meng Yao and Yushu beside Fatty Lai. As one of the three campus beauties, Tang Yun naturally knew the other two. She even talked to Yushu before. How could she not know them? Fatty Lai, how's Lin Yi? Where is he? Tang Yun ran over hurriedly. Although Meng Yao and Yushu were there, she ignored them. In her eyes, there was only Lin Yi's safety. It was good enough that she could see Fatty Lai. Humph. He won't die. Meng Yao snorted before Fatty Lai could speak. When she saw Tang Yun, her heart was filled with rage. Lin Yi was injured because of Tang Yun, so she didn't like Tang Yun at all. Seeing Tang Yun stumbling over, she was a little angry. But Meng Yao forgot that she was the same when she came in. Chapter 590. The defense of love. From the looks of it, They were here for Lin Yi as well. She asked hesitantly, "You guys?" Meng Yao was about to say something when Yushu blinked her eyes and stepped in front of Meng Yao. "Let me introduce you, Yao Yao sis. She's Shield Bro's girlfriend." "Shield Bro? Who?" Tang Yun didn't quite understand what Yushu meant. "Shield Bro, naturally. It's Lin Yi, haha." Yushu smiled slyly. "Lin Yi? Girlfriend?" Tang Yun's eyes widened. She was Lin Yi's girlfriend, okay? How did Meng Yao become Lin Yi's girlfriend? What was going on? If Xiao was here, Tang Yun could understand, but Meng Yao and Yushu were the two of them. She couldn't believe it. How did Lin Yi get involved with them? Meng Yao glared at Yushu, but the word girlfriend didn't resent her at all. Quite the contrary, it gave her a strange feeling. She didn't want to reject it. "Hello, I'm Meng Yao, Lin Yi's fiancé." Meng Yao elegantly extended her hand towards Tang Yun, raising her arrogant head and looking down at Tang Yun. At this moment, the eldest Miss Innate Nobility was displayed to the fullest. Tang Yun looked at Meng Yao, surprised. Lin Yi's fiancé? Tang Yun wasn't used to this. This was too sudden. She was Lin Yi's fiancé? Meng Yao was the famous miss of the school, the daughter of the chairman. She had a relationship with Lin Yi? Although surprised, Tang Yun still held Meng Yao's hand stubbornly. "I'm Tang Yun, Lin Yi's girlfriend. Why didn't I hear Lin Yi mention that he has a fiancé?" Seeing Meng Yao's attitude, Tang Yun was convinced. If the woman in front of her had nothing to do with Lin Yi, she wouldn't be here right now. However, she didn't believe that she was Lin Yi's fiancé. She'd just been tricked by Xiao, and her vigilance was high. How could she be tricked so easily? Even if the opponent was an arrogant miss, Tang Yun started to fight back. This was the first time she fought to defend her love. She didn't want to misunderstand Lin Yi again because of some groundless things. "I've heard of you," Meng Yao said faintly. It had to be said that Meng Yao's words had taken the upper hand. She showed that her relationship with Lin Yi was closer than Tang Yun's relationship with Lin Yi. Lin Yi didn't hide anything from her, but Lin Yi hid something from Tang Yun. "Is that so? Since you've heard of me, then you should know that my relationship with Lin Yi is recognized by the school. Since when did you become Lin Yi's fiancé?" Tang Yun's words were sharp. She didn't fight before because she didn't want to, and she didn't need to fight for anything. But the feeling of losing Lin Yi these past few days wasn't a good one, torturing Tang Yun. Plus, with Meng Yao's words, Tang Yun straightened her back. She was Lin Yi's girlfriend. This was recognized. Tang Yun's words made it hard for Meng Yao to reply. She argued with Tang Yun because she wanted to win, but she had never been in a relationship with Lin Yi. She felt guilty instinctively. Seeing Tang Yun being so aggressive, she didn't know how to deal with it. However, she didn't want to admit defeat. She'd said it before, so how could she back down? What's wrong with that? Yao Yao sis and Shield Bro's relationship was arranged by the family. There's no need to tell others. Isn't that right, Yao Yao sis? Although Yushu would usually quarrel with Meng Yao, the two of them were on the same side right now. When there was an enemy, they would stand together to fight together. She put her hands on her waist and stood in front of Meng Yao. Arranged by the family? Tang Yun froze. Indeed, marriage between rich families wasn't a rare thing. If Yushu said it, it was possible. After all, Meng Yao's identity was there. If she didn't have a relationship with Lin Yi, why would she argue with her? Yeah, you don't know, right? Shield Bro and Yao Yao sis are developing fast. They've even kissed. Yushu looked at Tang Yun and said proudly, "How about it? You guys haven't kissed yet, right?" Yushu's words shocked both Meng Yao and Tang Yun. Although Meng Yao was surprised, she didn't show it. She looked at Tang Yun proudly as if she agreed with Yushu's words. Why not? We've kissed before." Tang Yun looked at Yushu and said word by word, "We often kiss." Tang Yun was talking about the promise they made when they rescued the hostage in the hospital. Although they haven't carried it out yet, Tang Yun thought that it should be about the same. So she didn't want to be outdone. Lu Xinwen followed Tang Yun here, but she didn't know what was going on. She knew Meng Yao and Yushu. She knew that these two were the prettiest girls in the school. But their words shocked Lu Xinwen. Of course, what shocked her even more was Tang Yun's words. Tang Yun and Lin Yi kissed? Lu Xinwen had been trying to find out how far Tang Yun and Lin Yi had progressed, but there was no progress. Today, Tang Yun's self-exposure made Lu Xinwen sigh. So these two had reached this stage without saying a word. Oh, kissing isn't that big of a deal. Shield Bro often hugs Yao Yao Sis and touches her chest. Yushu released even more explosive news when she heard that Tang Yun had kissed Lin Yi. Meng Yao wanted to say that Lin Yi had never touched her chest before. But she knew that Yushu was fighting for her face, so Meng Yao silently agreed to Yushu's words. Lin Yi touched my chest too. Tang Yun panicked. She subconsciously puffed out her chest. His chest isn't as big as mine. It's not easy to touch. Tang Yun would never say something like this under normal circumstances. But even a rabbit will bite when it's cornered. Tang Yun was forced into a corner by Meng Yao and Yushu, so she didn't care about what she said. The words almost came out of her mouth. After saying it, even Tang Yun was shocked. Was this something she said? How could she be so shameless? How could she compare whose chest was easier to touch with other girls? How shameless was that? Lu Xinwen's eyes widened. Was this the good girl she knew? How could this be? This was crazy. Both of them started to touch breasts? Chapter 591. Chapter 591. Super Yushu Tang Yun pointed out her weakness, which made Meng Yao furious. She glared at Tang Yun as if she wanted to eat her up. What's wrong with my little one? I have a big one at home. Look, isn't she big? She's a lot bigger than you, right? Meng Yao pushed Yushu out as she spoke, and as Meng Yao's best friend, Yushu puffed her chest out proudly. See? You can't compete with her, right? It's none of your business. It's not like Lin Yi can touch you. Tang Yun found it funny. Meng Yao couldn't compete with her, but she couldn't use someone else to replace her, right? Why not? Shield Bro always touches me. You even kissed me. Yushu looked at Tang Yun as if she was looking at an ignorant girl with disdain. Touch you? Kiss you? Tang Yun didn't believe it. It was ridiculous. She could accept that Lin Yi was Meng Yao's fiancé, but to say that Lin Yi not only had a relationship with Meng Yao, but also with Yushu, it was ridiculous. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Yao Yao Sis is Shield Bro's main wife, and I'm his second wife. Buy one get one free. It's a good deal. Yushu blinked at Meng Yao. Isn't that right, Yao Yao Sis? That's right. Meng Yao nodded with a serious face. Yeah, that's what we agreed on. Meng Yao nodded with a serious face. Ah! Tang Yun was completely dumbfounded. What kind of logic was this? One was the main wife, and one was the second wife. Most importantly, Meng Yao had silently agreed to it. Tang Yun felt that this was either a farce, or there was something wrong with their brains. Tang Yun felt that it was possible for her to be Lin Yi's second wife. After all, her family was there, and she liked Lin Yi a lot. Lin Yi was injured because of her. He was willing to sacrifice so much for her. Even if she was his second wife, Tang Yun would accept it. At the very least, Lin Yi truly liked her. As long as he treated her well, she could barely accept it. But to say that Yushu was Lin Yi's mistress, Tang Yun didn't think it was realistic. What was Yushu's family background? She was a miss, and her brother was a major. Her family background was even more mysterious. Both she and Meng Yao were the pride of the school, so how could they share a husband? So Tang Yun's first thought was that these two were working together to trick her. After the initial shock, she didn't really believe it. She said sarcastically, "First wife, second wife? You guys are really creative." Yeah, how about it? Are you envious? Yushu continued as if she didn't hear the sarcasm in Tang Yun's words. Yao Yao and I are generous people. Even if you're Lin Yi's girlfriend, you can only be a small wife. No, you're the second small wife, I'm the first. Yushu's words made Meng Yao blush. Don't you know how to be embarrassed? But, it was all thanks to Yushu, the clown. Without her, Meng Yao might have really lost the battle. Tang Yun was speechless. How could there be such a shameless person? What first wife and second wife? Was it that honorable? This Yushu didn't seem to know what shame was. Tang Yun couldn't argue with her. But how could Tang Yun accept being defeated just like that? She glared at Yushu. What first wife and second wife? First come, first served, right? I'm already having sex with Lin Yi. What are you guys? You're just a figurehead. What? Xinwen was scared to death. Tang Yun and Lin Yi had already developed to this stage? Already had sex? Heavens, this is too fast. Tang Yun was also shocked by her own words. But since she said it, she couldn't back down. If she showed her fear, all her previous efforts would be wasted. So this time, Tang Yun took the initiative. She couldn't let Yushu lead her by the nose all the time, could she? Sex is nothing. We've been living together for a long time. Right, Yao Yao sis? Yushu looked at Meng Yao and asked. Yes, we're living together. Meng Yao said this with confidence. She was telling the truth. She wasn't lying. They were living together with Lin Yi. We're always together. We're always threesome. Do you know what threesome is? Men love it the most. You're alone. How can it be as good as me and Yao Yao sis? Yushu didn't think before she spoke. She dared to say anything. This made Meng Yao speechless. But even so, she couldn't correct her. Meng Yao could only accept it. Tang Yun's face turned red. She didn't expect Yushu to say something so bold. She didn't want to believe Meng Yao and Yushu's words. But she was a little suspicious. After all, a girl's reputation was very important. She was already Lin Yi's girlfriend. Even if it was spread out, it wouldn't cause any trouble. But Meng Yao and Yushu, these two rich girls, didn't they care about their reputation? If there really wasn't anything between them and Lin Yi, would they dare to say this? Although Tang Yun didn't think that threesome was real, their relationship with Lin Yi was definitely not nothing. Although Tang Yun was stubborn and felt that she was Lin Yi's girlfriend, she was still no match for Yushu. At this time, she was obviously a little weak. After all, she didn't know what else to say to be more powerful than Yushu's threesome. What's so good about threesome? It's disgusting. Tang Yun felt wronged. Her eyes stared at Yushu, unwilling to show weakness. You haven't tried it before. Of course you don't know. Yushu said confidently. We basically have threesome every day. Bullshit. Tang Yun, of course, didn't believe it. She felt that what Yushu said was too far from reality. Linny won't live with you guys. You don't believe me? Then I'll show you the evidence. Yushu took out her phone and opened the photo album. Then, she held it up and showed it to Tang Yun. Look, this is our kitchen. Shield Bro makes breakfast for us every day. This is our living room. We watch TV together. Alright, on this sofa, we threesome together. Look here, it's my asterisk. If you don't believe me, you can look at what I'm wearing. It's with this pattern. Oh, Yao Yao sis is in this photo. Look, the reflection in the mirror is here. Yushu finally found a photo with Meng Yao on it. She pointed it out to Tang Yun excitedly. Chapter 592. Who's bolder, how is it? Do you believe me now? There's also this one. It's our villa's yard. Look, this is Shield Bro's car, and this is his car. You've seen it before, right? This Beetle is mine, and that Audi S5 is Yao Yao Sis's. Yushu continued flipping through the photos in her phone and explained to Tang Yun. Actually, there's still the selfie we took when we were together, but we didn't put it in our phone. It's in our computer. Do you want to see it? Humph. Tang Yun snorted and glared at Yushu fiercely. Actually, Tang Yun's heart was in a mess. She didn't know if she should believe Yushu's words, but her instincts told her that she didn't believe Yushu's words. If Lin Yi really had something with them, Tang Yun didn't believe that Lin Yi wouldn't tell her about it. Why would Lin Yi hide it from her? If he had a fiancé, then so be it. As long as he told her, she would leave quietly. There was no need to tell her through someone else's mouth. However, in the photo in Yushu's phone, it was indeed Lin Yi's car. Tang Yun also saw Lin Yi driving the yellow Beetle. When Lin Yi came to her house for the first time, he drove this Beetle. How could Lin Yi not know about it? And that Audi S5, Tang Yun also saw it. It was at the night market. Lin Yi stood beside the car. In fact, Yushu didn't know what lovers would do after they slept together. They couldn't say that they had a child, right? That would be ridiculous. If Tang Yun asked where the child was, what would she say? So, Tang Yun didn't say anything and just stared at them. Yushu didn't say anything either and just stared at them. They glared at each other fiercely, but no one said anything. At that moment, it was hard to tell who had the upper hand. Although it seemed like Yushu and Meng Yao had the upper hand, in fact, they were feeling guilty. After all, what Yushu said just now was just bullshit. Fatty Lai had already hidden far away when the three girls started fighting. He didn't want to be caught as a strong man because he couldn't afford to offend either of the two groups. Fatty Lai knew that Tang Yun was his sister-in-law. Meng Yao and Yushu, on the other hand, were speaking so confidently, and Yushu had so much evidence. Fatty Lai knew that Lin Yi must be related to them. Therefore, the best thing to do at this time was to hide and not help either side. This was the wisest choice. Fatty Lai walked over after they stopped arguing. All right, it doesn't matter which one of you is Lin Yi's wife. You're still his woman, so you're all sisters-in-law. Meng Yao was about to say, who's sis-in-law? But then he remembered that he was still fighting with Tang Yun, so he accepted the title of sister-in-law without batting an eyelid. Tang Yun saw that Meng Yao and Yushu didn't say anything, so she raised her head and didn't say anything. Sisters-in-law, can you guys calm down first? Boss is healing now, and he needs silence. What if he goes mad with you guys arguing like this? Fatty Lai said carefully. Tang Yun was shocked. Meng Yao and Yushu were also shocked. They didn't think that much before, but after Fatty Lai's reminder, they realized that Lin Yi was still lying inside. What's the point of arguing about these meaningless things? Maybe it was because of Fatty Lai's words, or maybe they didn't know what to say anymore, but the living room temporarily quieted down. There were two groups of people in the living room. One group was Meng Yao and Yushu. Both of them had moved to the side and were whispering to each other. Shu, how could you say such dirty things just now? 3 batches? Did you read too many bad books? Meng Yao scolded softly. Oh Yao sis. You know what 3 batches means? Then you read bad books too. Yushu said carelessly. Don't change the topic. Meng Yao glared at Yushu. What we did just now, wasn't it bad? What's bad about it? Shield bro belongs to Yao sis, who asked him to fool around outside. Yushu didn't think that what she did was wrong at all. Sigh. Meng Yao sighed softly. In fact, she didn't know whether what she did was right or wrong. It seemed like it was an instinct, but it also seemed like she was being pushed. On the other side, Tang Yun was pulled to the side by Lu Xinwen. Lu Xinwen wanted to speak a few times, but she didn't. After all, she didn't know how Tang Yun and Lin Yi's relationship was not good. Tang Yun was worried about Lin Yi, so she didn't have the mood to talk about this. The battle with Yushu just now was to protect her dignity, and at this moment, Tang Yun obviously didn't have the mood to care about other things. Fatty Lai saw that everyone was standing in front of Lin Yi's room, so he and his wife moved 4 sofas and let them sit first. Time passed by, and there was no movement from Lin Yi's room. Tang Yun wanted to go and see, but she was afraid of disturbing Lin Yi, and Meng Yao had the same thought. Yao sis, I'm hungry. Yushu heard her stomach growling. She wanted to eat. Bear with it, when Lin Yi wakes up, the 3 of us will go home and eat together. When she said this, Meng Yao didn't know what she was thinking, but she purposely raised her voice so that Tang Yun could hear her. Okay, but I want to eat Shield Bro's cooking. His cooking is delicious. Yushu cooperated with Meng Yao. Doesn't he cook for us every day? He's injured today, so he doesn't need to cook anymore. Meng Yao also showed off. Meng Yao realized that when did she become so vain? She didn't like to show off before, did she? Tang Yun listened to the 2 girls, and her heart was filled with dissatisfaction. Why should she cook for them? She couldn't help but say, Lu Xinwen, you haven't eaten Lin Yi's chicken wings before, right? It's delicious, and he even gave me the recipe. The barbecue at my house now is the recipe Lin Yi gave me. Right, he even made me shark meat before. You have eaten it too, right? Lu Xinwen sighed. Yin Yun, why are you starting to get jealous too? You are the pride of the heavens, the prettiest among the 3 of us. But Meng Yao and Yushu, which one of them isn't beautiful? Shark meat, we have eaten it too, and that shark was caught by Shield Bro and me. Yushu continued. Humph. Tang Yun didn't believe it and humphed. Chapter 593. The war begins again. I want to eat roasted chicken wings. Yushu heard Tang Yun talking about roasted chicken wings, so she wanted to eat roasted chicken wings as well. Shh. We don't have roasted chicken wings here. Meng Yao glared at her and turned to Fatty Lai. Sorry for troubling you. Meng Yao acted like a lady from a wealthy family. Us too, we'll just eat whatever we want, Tang Yun said politely to Fatty Lai. Okay, I'll ask my wife to cook the noodles. Fatty Lai let out a sigh of relief. He was afraid that these girls would be picky. Soon, Fatty Lai's wife finished cooking the noodles, and Fatty Lai was responsible for serving them. Each of them had a bowl, and the piping hot noodles were placed in front of the girls. Meng Yao, Yushu, Tang Yun, and Lu Xinwen were all hungry. They stopped fighting and lowered their heads to eat the noodles. Meng Yao and Tang Yun ate more elegantly, while Yushu and Lu Xinwen didn't care that much. They ate the noodles with gusto. Fatty Lai often went to social events, and it was hard for him to eat his fill at the banquets. So he would always eat something before going to bed, and noodles were extremely convenient. So Fatty Lai's wife learned how to cook noodles, and the noodles she made were better than the ones outside. After finishing the noodles, Fatty Lai picked up the bowl, and the girls continued to stare at each other. The smell of gunpowder was very strong. After eating and drinking, the war began. Meng Yao thought about how there was no news from Lin Yi for so long, and she was even more worried. She couldn't help but complain. Why didn't you stop Lin Yi from taking revenge? If you had stopped him, he wouldn't have gotten hurt, right? How could I have stopped him? He went to take revenge for me, and that proves that he loves me. I should be happy. Tang Yun said. Otherwise, why didn't he get hurt because of you? Who said he didn't get hurt because of me? He even took a bullet for me, right, Shu? Meng Yao was talking about the bank robbery, but the bullet wasn't for Meng Yao, but for Guan Xian. Oh, Shield Bro jumped into the sea with me to save me, and we even fought sharks. Yushu added. Fatty Lai sighed and pulled his wife to a faraway place. He didn't dare go to sleep. It was fine if they argued, but he was afraid that they'd start fighting. Old Lai, who are these people? Lai's wife still didn't understand the relationship between these people. She only knew that the injured person was Lin Yi, her husband's boss, was a miracle doctor who cured her father-in-law. The current miracle doctor Guan's medical company was also founded by him, so Lai's wife knew that he was a powerful figure and respected him like Fatty Lai. But, of the 4 girls in the room, 3 of them were ridiculously pretty, and all of them claimed to be in a relationship with Lin Yi. This gave the wife quite a headache. Lin Yi passed the phone to Fatty Lai and told him to explain if Tang Yun called. Then, he locked himself in the room, fell onto the bed and fainted. In the next moment, Lin Yi entered the space of the jade pendant. This was the first time that Lin Yi had a head-on collision with an expert of similar strength to him. This collision was extremely uncomfortable. Fortunately, he had the space of the jade pendant. Otherwise, he might have really died this time. Phew! Lin Yi could feel the elemental energy around him repairing his internal organs at an incredible speed. He couldn't help but let out a long sigh. It was a very comfortable feeling, just like the feeling he got when he leveled up and broke through. He couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. This was the second time Lin Yi entered deep sleep after Xiao sucked all his energy dry. He couldn't sense anything from the outside world at all. Time passed, and Lin Yi's injured body was quickly recovering under the pure energy of the space. After who knew how long, Lin Yi let out a long roar and stood up. Lin Yi moved his body left and right, in disbelief. He was healed, completely healed? Lin Yi, naturally, knew how serious his injuries were. Even with the support of his old man's elixirs, he wouldn't be able to get out of bed for at least 2 to 3 months. But in this space of the jade pendant, he recovered so quickly. It could be said to be a miracle. Jiao Lao, I'm healed? Lin Yi asked in disbelief. Yes. Jiao Yazi nodded. The space of the jade pendant has healing effects? Lin Yi asked curiously. When he fell on the bed, entering the space of the jade pendant was an instinct. In fact, Lin Yi didn't know that entering the space of the jade pendant after he fainted could help him heal. Of course, your energy can help others heal. Of course you can heal yourself. Jiao Lao rolled his eyes. Can't you ask some questions that are beyond kindergarten level? Okay, so that means if I slowly absorb energy from the outside, the pure qi in the natural world, I can slowly recover? Lin Yi asked. In theory, yes. Jiao Yazi said, but this is another kindergarten level question. The pure qi in the outside world is thin, and the amount you absorb can't keep up with the speed your body uses it. You won't be able to absorb that much energy, and you'll die. I see. Lin Yi nodded. If that Uncle Zhu didn't have elixirs, he'd probably die. One more question. Why do I feel like I'm stronger than before? Although my level hasn't changed, I feel stronger? Very good, there's progress. This is a primary school level question. Zhao Yazi's words made Lin Yi a little embarrassed. However, Zhao Yazi didn't wait for Lin Yi to speak and continued, there's no construction without destruction. Your bones and internal organs have all been damaged, so they will be repaired by the pure energy in the space. Naturally, they will be much stronger than if they were forged by the thin true qi in the natural world. Lin Yi suddenly realized that it was related to the purity of the energy. It seemed that the space of the jade pendant was really a good thing. Such a serious injury, but I recovered in such a short time. It's unbelievable. Lin Yi sighed. Short. It's almost 10 hours. Zhao Yazi said lightly. What? 10 hours? Lin Yi was shocked. In his mind, it was only 1 or 2 hours. He didn't expect it to be this long. Chapter 594. Lin Yi's headache. Moreover, after he ran out tonight, he did not inform eldest Mississippi. Would eldest Miss look for him? Thinking of this, Lin Yi quickly returned to reality from the jade space. Lin Yi stretched his body and checked his body. He was on the verge of dying, but now he had recovered to his peak condition. He was full of energy and there was nothing wrong with his body. Only the blood stain on his clothes was a little scary. Lin Yi quickly got up from the bed and opened the door, only to be stunned by what he saw. Miss and Tang Yun were all sitting in the living room. Why were they all here? Lin Yi, are you all right? Why is it so serious? Meng Yao stood up first and walked to Lin Yi's side. She looked at Lin Yi tenderly. Her beautiful eyes were full of tenderness. Lin Yi couldn't help but shiver at Meng Yao's tone. Was this Miss? Why was she speaking like this? Was he not awake yet? Was he still dreaming? Meng Yao didn't know why, but in front of Tang Yun, she subconsciously entered her mode. She was like a gentle wife, worried about Lin Yi. Especially when she saw the bloodstain on Lin Yi's clothes, Meng Yao was even more furious at Tang Yun. Lin Yi was injured because he wanted to avenge her. Lin Yi, I'm sorry. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have been injured. Tang Yun naturally didn't want to be outdone. She ran over and grabbed Lin Yi's arm. How could Meng Yao let herself get close to Lin Yi? At this time, she also grabbed Lin Yi's other arm. Yushu, on the other hand, jumped into Lin Yi's arms. Shield bro, we were so worried about you. Are you all right? If not, let's go home and do 3P. Wah! Lin Yi jumped in fright from Yushu. What? Go home and do 3P? Did Shu have a fever or was she having a stroke? Lin Yi, she said she's your fiancé? Meng Yao is the main wife, and Yushu is the second wife? Tang Yun was conflicted. Although she was worried about Lin Yi's injury, she still had to ask the question in her heart. First wife, second wife? Lin Yi's eyes widened. What was going on? That's right, Lin Yi. Tell me, are you my personal expert? Are you here to help me deal with those pestering flies? Meng Yao felt a little guilty. Lin Yi had woken up, and her lie was about to be exposed. However, she didn't want to admit defeat in front of Tang Yun. Lin Yi looked at Meng Yao. He didn't know what was wrong with her today. Why was she so aggressive today? They said that the two of you often kiss together, and 3P? Tang Yun didn't think that the term 3 batches was very elegant, but she couldn't care less. She wanted to know the truth. When did you kiss? 3P? I don't even know where to start. Lin Yi sweated. He wanted to have 3P, but who was going to do it with him? Shield bro, you dare to say that you didn't kiss me and Yao Yao sis? You even made Yao Yao sis pregnant, and she vomited. Yushu said, also, didn't you kiss me on the beach? Really? Tang Yun looked at Lin Yi with a wronged expression. Lin Yi suddenly had a headache. He didn't know how Meng Yao and Yushu got into a fight with Tang Yun, but it was obvious that the two of them lied to Tang Yun. Sweat. That's an indirect kiss, okay? You drank my drink, and that counts as a kiss? Lin Yi was speechless. If you can get pregnant like that, then the streets would be full of pregnant women. Also, Shu, I gave you CPR. How is that a kiss? Tang Yun listened to Lin Yi's explanation, and her heart was filled with joy. Although this explanation proved that Lin Yi really had some relationship with Meng Yao and Yushu, at least Lin Yi cared about her, that's why he explained it to her. Whether it was true or not, Tang Yun was very happy. Meng Yao blushed when Lin Yi said the truth, but Yushu didn't care. Shield bro, why didn't you cooperate with us? Cooperate with what? Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Why are you and Yao Yao here? Yao Yao sis heard that you were injured, so she brought me here to see you. Yao Yao sis is very concerned about you. When are we going home to play 3P? Yushu said without blushing. What 3P? How can you be so shameless? Lin Yi already said that it has nothing to do with you. Can you not pester him like this? Tang Yun panicked. Why was Yushu like this? Isn't this seduction? Even if Lin Yi didn't like them, wouldn't he make a mistake if he continued to seduce them? Tang Yun knew how pretty Meng Yao and Yushu were. Oh, are you jealous? You can't do 3P, but you don't want us to? Yushu grinned at Tang Yun. Why can't I play? I'll take care of two of you. Tang Yun was panicking and didn't know what to say. Lin Yi's head was about to explode. What day was it? What was going on? How did Tang Yun, who used to be so obedient, suddenly become so violent? And the first miss, who had always been aloof and virtuous, also joined in? As for Yushu, Lin Yi didn't think much of it. She was like this all the time, after all. Oh, my head hurts. Lin Yi slapped his forehead as he fell to the ground. The headache was real, but it wasn't that serious. Fainting was just an act. However, Lin Yi's fall shocked Tang Yun, Meng Yao, and Yushu. They just remembered that Lin Yi had just woken up from his injury. They didn't know if he had recovered or not, but they were still arguing here. Weren't they trying to piss Lin Yi off? Tang Yun and Meng Yao wanted to go check on Lin Yi, but Yushu said, "Oh, shield bro, why are your eyes moving? Are you pretending to faint?" Lin Yi was just playing around with them, and he pretended to be anxious. Naturally, he didn't look like he fainted. Yushu found the flaw, so he stopped pretending. Yao Yao Shu, don't cause trouble. What? Do you think I'm annoying? Meng Yao's face turned cold. She was obviously unhappy. Lin Yi, come home with us right now. Meng Yao really lost her face. Lin Yi told them not to cause trouble. Didn't he mean that they shouldn't cause trouble between him and Tang Yun? With the Mrs. Arrogant personality, how could she tolerate it? Oh, let's go home and play 3P. Yushu clapped happily. Yao Yao, you guys go back first. I want to talk to Tang Yun. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Chapter 595. The Misdeclaration of War. This. Lin Yi looked at Tang Yin, who was gritting her teeth. He knew that he had pushed her to the edge today, or else she wouldn't be like this. Of course, Lin Yi has to listen to me. Meng Yao finally gained the upper hand. Lin Yi, my dad is waiting for you at home. Come home with us now. Lin Yi was in a difficult position. Peng Zhan was here? Logically speaking, Peng Zhan was his employer. If he wanted him to go back, he had to go back. But he had to explain to Tang Yin, right? I can go back. I'll explain to Tang Yin. Lin Yi's words were very forceful, and Meng Yao wanted to retort, but she couldn't. She couldn't help but pout, glaring at Lin Yi hatefully. Damned Lin Yi, what the hell were you talking to me about? I'll deduct your salary. Tang Yin smiled. It didn't matter what relationship Lin Yi had with them. Lin Yi cared about her the most. So she won this round. Lin Yi walked to Tang Yin's side and whispered. I'm fine. I want to go back with them. Yao Yao's father and my family's old man have some relationship. I came to Songshan to study. It's also because of my elder's order to secretly take care of Yao Yao. She is now my employer, so I have to listen to her. Oh! Tang Yin felt wronged. Why didn't you tell me before? Besides, Lin Yi was living with them now. Facing these two beauties every day, even if Lin Yi didn't like them, he would still fall in love with them, right? An unprecedented sense of danger made Tang Yun's heart flutter. Let Fatty Lai send you back. I'll go find you tomorrow. Lin Yi pulled Tang Yin's hand. Okay. Tang Yin nodded sweetly. She looked at Meng Yao cautiously. Lin Yi, we should go. Meng Yao knew that Lin Yi must have told Tang Yun about her identity. This made her a little embarrassed. She had just shamelessly said that she was Lin Yi's fiancée, but now it had become a joke. Then leave. Don't keep your employer waiting. Tang Yun smiled at Lin Yi generously. She knew that a girl shouldn't be too petty, especially in front of a strong opponent like Meng Yao. Although Lin Yi explained his relationship with Meng Yao, Tang Yun's sixth sense told her that Meng Yao liked Lin Yi, and so did Yushu. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gone against him like this, and they wouldn't have said those words that tarnished their reputations. However, Tang Yin was a smart girl. She still pointed out Meng Yao's identity. In fact, she was telling Meng Yao that she knew her identity, and there was no need for her to fight with her. Meng Yao pursed her lips and pulled Yushu out of the living room. But when she passed by Tang Yin, she stopped and whispered in her ear, "I've decided. From today onwards, I'll officially pursue Lin Yi. I'll get the benefits first. Don't cry when I get dumped." "Oh, if you want to cry, I can reluctantly let you be the second wife." Yushu giggled. Tang Yin didn't say anything. She stood there, full of confidence. She didn't believe that Lin Yi would dump her. She smiled faintly and said half-jokingly, "Since you're so willing to be the second wife, as long as Lin Yi is willing, I don't mind." Lin Yi's hearing was shockingly strong. Naturally, he heard everything the three of them said. Lin Yi only had one thought in his mind. Miss had gone crazy. Tang Yin had gone crazy too. However, Lin Yi didn't say anything. He followed Meng Yao and Yushu out of Fatty Lai's villa. Meng Yao and Yushu sat in their Audi S5, but they sat in the back. Lin Yi looked at his car. He could only come back tomorrow to get it. Miss obviously wanted him to drive, so Lin Yi had no choice but to sit in the driver's seat. Tang Yin let out a sigh of relief when she saw Lin Yi leave. She collapsed into Xinwen's arms as if she'd collapsed from exhaustion. Tang Yin gritted her teeth. There was only one thought in her mind. She couldn't show weakness in front of Meng Yao and Yushu. Although he didn't know their background, Lin Yi liked her. This was the reason why Tang Yin gritted her teeth and fought until the end. However, Tang Yin was a girl who hadn't experienced these things. Fortunately, Meng Yao didn't have any experience, and with the addition of Yushu, it was hard to tell who would win. However, after Meng Yao and Yushu left, Tang Yin couldn't hold on anymore. She wasn't the kind of person who liked to fight. She used all her strength just now. "Yun, what's wrong?" Xinwen was shocked and asked anxiously. "It's nothing." Tang Yin smiled bitterly. "I'm just a little tired." "Xinwen, do you think what I did just now wasn't good? Does Lin Yi think that I'm a petty woman who likes to fight for a man's favor?" "No. Yun, your performance just now was beyond my expectations. You were so fierce, I almost couldn't recognize you," Xinwen said with admiration. "You're being sarcastic." Tang Yin let out a breath of relief after hearing Xinwen's words. She didn't expect herself to be so daring and argue with Meng Yao and Yushu. Thinking about it now, Tang Yin couldn't believe that it was her. "Haha, by the way, Yun, how far are you and Lin Yi now? Are you really fucking?" Xinwen had wanted to ask this question for a long time. "Of course not. I was lying to them." "Who told them to lie to me?" Tang Yin's face blushed as she said embarrassedly. "You scared me. You stupid Yun. I thought you were fucking that fast." "That's a little too fast." Xinwen also let out a breath of relief. "By the way, how far are you guys now?" "Not that far, just holding hands." Tang Yin returned to her usual self. If she had to stand up and say something like before, she wouldn't dare to do it. "It's just holding hands." Xinwen, on the other hand, was a little disappointed. She didn't expect the two to progress so slowly. "Right, Yun, you need to be careful of Meng Yao and Yushu. They're obviously in cahoots with each other. They have an advantage over you. You and Lin Yi may be in a relationship now, but it's buy one get one free. You get 3 batches." Tang Yin couldn't help but roll her eyes at Xinwen. "Hey, Xinwen, what are you talking about? Lin Yi doesn't like to do those disgusting things." Chapter 596. After getting injured. "No, I won't." Although Tang Yun said that, she started to worry. Xinwen's words made her feel embarrassed, but it wasn't without reason. She had to find a chance to ask Lin Yi about it. "Speaking of tigress, who's more tigress than you?" "My tigress is different from hers. How should I put it?" Although Lu Xinwen's character was very boorish, she was also meticulous. She had a good eye for people. Her tiger is the kind of naive and cute tiger, but I think it's most likely an act. Either she's really like this, very silly, very naive, very pure and ambiguous, or she's very perverted and smart. What nonsense! Tang Yun blushed. Why do I care so much about her? Haven't you heard of this saying? There's no such thing as an unbreakable couple, only a lazy mistress. Xinwen was disappointed. Yun, you have to be careful. All right, I got it. Xinwen's words were clear in Tang Yun's heart, but what could she do? It all depended on Lin Yi's attitude. Tang Yun and Xinwen were sent back to the hospital by Fatty Lai's wife. Tang Yun's head didn't hurt at all. Just like what Lin Yi said, she could remove the bandages in one night. Before they left, Fatty Lai gave Tang Yun a bottle of painkiller. Since Tang Juqing was injured, he used up a lot of painkiller. At the same time, in the private room behind the floating cloud bar, Zhao Qibing and Uncle Zhu were both lying on the bed. Zhao Qibing had woken up and was crying in pain. Uncle Zhu, on the other hand, closed his eyes to heal himself. Master Bing, bear with it, Yao Wang is on the way, he should be here soon. Sihua sighed. He didn't expect Lin Yi to be this ruthless. In the past, Sihua thought that he was a big shot in Songshan, everyone had to give him face, but after meeting Lin Yi, he realized that he was nothing in Lin Yi's eyes. Lin Yi didn't even look at him. Damn it! Where did this Lin Yi come from? How dare you break my leg? What did my father say? Did you send anyone to deal with him? Qibing really couldn't swallow this. He had just arrived in Songshan, he hadn't even had a chance to get started, but Lin Yi had already shown his power. Not only did Lin Yi topple his skyscraper, he even broke his legs. How was he going to survive in Songshan in the future? If he didn't kill Lin Yi, he wouldn't have the face to stay in Songshan anymore. The head of the house is already investigating Lin Yi's identity. Sihua smiled bitterly. But I heard from Uncle Zhu that Lin Yi's a mystic. I'm afraid he's quite a high position even in the boss place. Mystic class? Lin Yi is a mystic? Zhao Qibing froze. He had fainted earlier, so he didn't know what Uncle Zhu was talking about. Now that he heard the news, he was shocked as well. He didn't ask about Uncle Zhu's injuries because his legs were hurting too. He didn't have the time to care about others. He thought that Uncle Zhu's injuries were caused by a bulldozer or a trenching machine, so he didn't think too much about it. Yes, mystic early phase. At this moment, Uncle Zhu, who had his eyes closed, spoke. Master Bing, Lin Yi is also heavily injured. If he doesn't have any treasures to nourish himself, even if he doesn't die, he won't have any strength left. It depends on what he chooses. Does he want to sacrifice his life to preserve his strength, or does he want to become a normal person? Does that mean that if Lin Yi doesn't have any treasures to nourish himself, now would be the best time to deal with him? And now that he's injured, he doesn't have the strength of a mystic anymore? Sihua was a cunning man. He understood what Uncle Zhu was trying to say. Haha, his situation isn't much better than mine. Even with treasures and a master like Yao Wang to heal him, he'll need at least half a year to recover to his peak, and that's the ideal situation. Uncle Zhu said. In fact, if there's a small mistake, or if there's a lack of treasures, he won't be able to recover so quickly. It's hard to say if he can even recover to his peak. That's great. We'll deal with him before he recovers. He won't be able to fight back. Sihua had wanted to deal with Lin Yi for a long time, but he hadn't found a way. Now that he had this news, how could he let it go? Most importantly, he wanted to avenge Master Bing. It was killing two birds with one stone. Let's wait for the head's decision. Uncle Zhu was a man who followed the orders of the house. Whether or not to deal with Lin Yi was up to Zhao Guangyin. He was just giving some suggestions. Sihua nodded. Indeed, without Guangyin's order, they couldn't proceed with the next step. They could only wait for Yao Wang to come. Lin Yi drove the car carefully. The miss had a cold expression on her face, and no one knew what she was thinking. Yushu, on the other hand, still had that silly look on her face as she played with her fingers. She didn't seem to notice the strange atmosphere at all. Or maybe she did, but it didn't affect her at all. Yao sis, are you officially going to pursue Shield Bro? Yushu asked after playing with her fingers. Lin Yi sweated. Meng Yao said this in a low voice to Tang Yun. Although Lin Yi's hearing was good, he could pretend that he didn't hear it. But now that Yushu said it out loud, It was a little awkward. The miss wanted to pursue him? Lin Yi didn't believe it. He didn't know what was wrong with her, but Lin Yi didn't think it was a big deal. Meng Yao's expression froze. She glared at Yushu angrily. Then she calmed down and said in a calm tone, Lin Yi, don't listen to Shu's nonsense. I argued with Tang Yun because I was angry. You are my follower, but you got hurt because of Tang Yun. To be honest, I don't like her. That's why I said it on purpose to piss her off. Don't take it seriously. Ha, I know. I didn't take it seriously. Lin Yi smiled and nodded. This was the miss. Meng Yao's eyes flashed with disappointment. She felt a little bitter in her heart. This was the first time she announced that she wanted to pursue a guy, and he didn't take it seriously? Chapter 597. Chapter 597. Disappointed miss. Okay. Lin Yi smiled bitterly and nodded. Was Shu that retarded? How could she be caught again? Oh, you can climb the fence next time if you have nothing to do, Yushu added. Lin Yi almost drove the car into a ditch on the side of the road. From now on, if you do anything intimate with Tang Yun, you have to report to me first. Meng Yao didn't know what she was thinking, but she said this. I don't think that's necessary. I have a private life too. Lin Yi blushed. Of course. Meng Yao said firmly. What if you want to have sex with Tang Yun and I'm in danger and you can't stop? So you have to report to me first. Sex. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. I have to report that too? Of course. One is to monitor your private life. Shu and I are pure people, and if your private life is too dirty, I'll have to consider firing you. Meng Yao said with a serious face. Okay. Lin Yi nodded. The miss was angry today and Lin Yi didn't want to piss her off. No matter what, he had to agree first. Then Yao sis, are we still going to have 3P at home? Yushu was disappointed to see Meng Yao backing out. Play what? Meng Yao glared at Yushu. Why are you so willing to play? If you want to play, go play by yourself. I can't play by myself. Yushu said, troubled. Yao sis, you don't keep your words. All right Shu, let's not talk about this. You're still young and can't play. You can play when you're older, okay? Meng Yao got a headache from Yushu. Oh okay. You can play with me when I'm older? Yushu finally smiled. Sure. Meng Yao was speechless. Lin Yi could only smile bitterly. He really couldn't interfere in this matter. Is Uncle Chu at home? Lin Yi changed the topic because he really didn't know how to participate in the previous conversation. Daddy's treating you to dinner, and you made him wait for more than 10 hours. Meng Yao pointed out the window. It's almost dawn. Oh, I'm really sorry. I'll explain it to you when we get back. Lin Yi said with a bitter smile. Humph. Meng Yao humphed. Drive faster. There's still a feast at home. Lin Yi didn't say anything as he sped up the car. Meng Yao's Audi S5 was a sports car, and it was the middle of the night. There weren't any cars on the road, so Lin Yi pushed the car to the limit. Meng Yao didn't react in time. Yushu, on the other hand, was dancing around. Wow, it's so cool, a roller coaster. Meng Yao was speechless. Was Yushu lacking in the fear factor? Why didn't she know the meaning of fear? In the blink of an eye, Lin Yi stopped the car in front of Meng Yao's villa. Pengzhan and Faubert ran out when they heard the sound of the car. Uncle Fu and Pengzhan followed him to Fatty Lai's villa, and after waiting for a while, they called Meng Yao to confirm Lin Yi's condition. Then they went home to wait. After all, it wasn't appropriate for Pengzhan to wait at Fatty Lai's house. Are you all right? Pengzhan was surprised to see Lin Yi getting down from the driver's seat. Meng Yao said that Lin Yi's condition was very serious, and he even vomited blood. But now, other than the bloodstain on Lin Yi's shirt, Lin Yi's face was rosy. It didn't look like he was injured at all. If it wasn't for the bloodstain on his shirt, Pengzhan would have thought that Lin Yi wasn't injured at all. Only the bloodstain could prove that something had happened. It's fine. I'm a doctor myself. Lin Yi shrugged. Thank you for your concern, Uncle Chu. Sorry to keep you waiting. It's fine as long as you're fine. Pengzhan said sincerely. I was so worried. Although Elder Lin asked you to help House Chu, if something really happened to you, how would I explain it to Elder Lin? I was too reckless this time. I've caused trouble for Uncle Chu, Lin Yi said embarrassedly. Although Lin Yi said that, he didn't guarantee that it wouldn't happen again. If things went back to before he went to find Zhao Qibing, Lin Yi would still do the same thing. It's fine. The food is ready. It's just a little cold. Let's have a drink to calm you down. At the same time, we'll thank you for saving Yao Yao and Shu, Peng Zhan said. The group entered the villa. Lin Yi took a shower and changed into a casual outfit. Faubert had already heated up the food. Meng Yao and Yushu sat in the dining room. Peng Zhan pulled Lin Yi over when he saw Lin Yi coming out. Meng Yao sat at the dining table in a daze. She thought back to her abnormal behavior today. Was this still her? She fought with Tang Yun for a man? She even proudly announced that she was going to pursue Lin Yi? How was this possible? This was impossible. She must be dreaming. But Meng Yao pinched herself. She realized that she wasn't in a dream. She was in reality. Meng Yao blushed as she thought back to what had happened. She was going to pursue Lin Yi? Lin Yi was more likely to pursue her. If he were to pursue her, would she agree? Should she reject him directly or give him a chance? Meng Yao was a little excited, but shy at the same time. She didn't know what to do. Today's events had far exceeded the Miss' mental endurance. Everything she'd said and done was completely out of anger, and she didn't think it through. Meng Yao blushed as she thought back to it. Yao Yao Shu, this is the first drink. You two toast to Lin Yi. Thank him for saving you. Peng Zhan said to the two after sitting down. Oh, okay. Yushu raised her drink. Meng Yao, on the other hand, was still in a daze. She didn't seem to hear what Peng Zhan said. Yao Yao? Peng Zhan frowned. What was wrong with his daughter? She had been absent-minded since a while ago. He didn't know what she was thinking about. Daddy, what's wrong? What's the matter? Meng Yao snapped out of her daze and looked at Peng Zhan, not sure what was going on. You and Shu toast to Lin Yi. Thank him for saving you. Peng Zhan repeated himself. It was late, after all. Meng Yao hadn't slept the whole night. It was normal for her to be spaced out. Chapter 598. The Miss has something on her mind. Shield bro, thank you for saving me and Yao Yao sis. If Yao Yao sis wants to repay me with her body, I'm fine with it. Yushu blinked innocently. Shu, my daddy is here. What are you talking about? Meng Yao was shocked. She glared at Yushu as if someone stepped on her tail. Yushu stuck her tongue out. She'd been joking a lot lately, and hadn't been paying attention today. Meng Yao's reminder reminded her that Peng Zhan was here as well. She'd almost said buy one get one free. That would have been so embarrassing. Ha! Peng Zhan smiled faintly but didn't show anything. He said, with Shu at home to liven up the atmosphere, it won't be lonely. Yao Yao, it's your turn. Lin Yi saved her. How could Meng Yao not be grateful? Humans weren't plants or trees, so they couldn't be emotionless. But asking the Miss to toast Lin Yi made her a little embarrassed. She was the one who chased Lin Yi out, didn't she? Although she had reluctantly accepted the fact that he was living with her, wouldn't it mean that she was giving in to him if she toasted him? How could she treat him in the future? However, her daddy was staring at her. Meng Yao had no choice but to raise her glass. She didn't toast Lin Yi. Instead, she poured herself a cup and drank it. Thank you. Lin Yi didn't mind. Miss was cold on the outside but warm on the inside. That was her personality. He raised his glass and smiled. It's what I should do. Meng Yao wasn't happy looking at Lin Yi's calm face. I'm the Miss, okay? I'm your employer. Why don't you look happy when I'm toasting you? When have I ever toasted another guy? However, she couldn't say it out loud. She could only sulk and list out all of Lin Yi's flaws. She cursed Lin Yi in her heart. Lin Yi, stupid Lin Yi. Can't you treat me a little better? Am I worse than Tang Yun? Even if I'm a little worse than her, what about Yushu? The two of us together are not attractive? You just had to go out and flirt with other women. You're really despicable. At first, Meng Yao didn't think that she had any feelings for Lin Yi. She thought that she was angry because Lin Yi ignored her and Shu. This was something a proud Miss couldn't tolerate. Why couldn't the two of us compare to Tang Yun? Are you blind or are we really not attractive? Yao Yao, how's Lily doing in school? He's a transfer school. If he can't catch up, You and Shu can help him out. Peng Zhan started chatting casually. What? Meng Yao was cursing Lin Yi in her heart when she saw her father looking at her. It seemed like he was asking her a question, but she didn't hear it clearly. Haha, Yao Yao, why are you always absent-minded? What are you thinking about? Peng Zhan asked with a smile. Nothing. I'm not thinking about anything. Meng Yao blushed. Oh, Uncle Chu, I know what Yao Yao sis is thinking about. Yu Shu reached out her hand like a student. Shu, tell me, what is Yao Yao thinking about? Peng Zhan was in a good mood today. He smiled and asked Yu Shu. Yao Yao sis is thinking about love. Yu Shu said with a serious face. Thinking about love? Peng Zhan paused and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Why is Yao Yao thinking about love? Shh. I'll kill you. Meng Yao didn't want to admit that Yu Shu had seen through her thoughts, so she was getting angry. Besides, she wasn't thinking about love. She just wanted Lin Yi to pay more attention to her. How could this be considered as thinking about love? Oh, Yao Yao sis is murdering someone. Yu Shu ran away in fear. Ha ha. Peng Zhan was already used to the bickering between the two girls. The two had been fighting since they were young, and Yu Shu didn't dare to say anything at all. Peng Zhan knew her personality very well. Lin Yi shook his head with a bitter smile. Yu Shu was always like this no matter what situation she was in. Meng Yao, naturally, couldn't really get up and chase after Yu Shu. Yu Shu had always been this impulsive, so it wasn't a big deal. Meng Yao, on the other hand, was much more mature. How could she get up and leave when her daddy was still at the banquet? Daddy, don't listen to Shu's nonsense. She's the one who's thinking about love. Meng Yao was afraid that her father would misunderstand and explained with a blush. Peng Zhan was slightly taken aback. It would have been fine if Meng Yao didn't explain, but this explanation made Peng Zhan suspicious. This kind of thing, if Yu Shu was joking, Meng Yao wouldn't explain it according to her personality. But today, she explained it, and even blushed. This made Peng Zhan feel that something was wrong, but he didn't plan to ask about it at the banquet. He wanted to talk about it in private later. Right, I heard that one of Zhong Pingliang's kidneys was cut off. What happened? Does it have anything to do with you? Peng Zhan changed the topic to Zhong Pingliang. Zhong Fabai's son losing a kidney was a big deal. Although Zhong Fabai didn't want to announce it, everyone with a bit of background in Songshan had heard about it. They were all sighing in their hearts. What kind of person did Zhong Pingliang offend to be treated this way? No, but this should be done by Jiang Wen? Lin Yi told Jiang Wen about Zhong Pingliang kidnapping Meng Yao, and the second day, Zhong Pingliang's kidney was cut off. This was undoubtedly done by Jiang Wen. But what Lin Yi didn't expect was why Jiang Wen would choose to cut off one of Zhong Pingliang's kidneys. Thinking back to the organ smuggling organization that Ling Shan mentioned a few days ago, and the kidney trafficking organization that he personally destroyed, Lin Yi suspected that Jiang Wen had something to do with this organization. Jiang Wen? Peng Zhan paused but nodded. That's possible. Uncle Chu, what's the background of this Jiang Wen? He seems to have some connection with your family? Lin Yi asked. Housen used to be a powerful family in Songshan. Their business was very big, and our two families had some business dealings. We have a good relationship. Jiang Wen is the youngest son of House N, and he had a good relationship with Yao Yao back then. Peng Zhan said. They were childhood friends. Who's childhood friends with him? Meng Yao suddenly interrupted, as if she was worried that people would misunderstand. Chapter 599. Can't chase him away, haha, he's just a childhood friend. Peng Zhan looked at his daughter deeply before continuing with a smile. But I heard that Housen found a powerful backer after that, and the whole family moved to Donghai. Housen's business here has been taken care of by the eldest son of House, and Jiang Wen left the country and only came back recently. Meng Yao glared at Lin Yi. This guy didn't seem to care about her at all. He didn't seem to care about whether she and Jiang Wen were childhood friends or not. Wasn't he worried about her at all? However, Lin Yi's next words disappointed Meng Yao. Lin Yi didn't dwell on the topic of childhood friends. Lin Yi nodded. Uncle Chu, have you heard of a criminal organization that smuggles organs? They're called a kidney trafficking organization by the people? Kidney trafficking organization? Are you suspecting that Jiang Wen has something to do with this organization? Peng Zhan frowned, but after Housen moved to Donghai, They started a business that was half black and half white. They changed their business path and accumulated a huge amount of wealth in a few short years. I'm a little suspicious. Otherwise, why would Jiang Wen remove Zhong Pingliang's kidney? Lin Yi said, but this has nothing to do with us. As long as he doesn't disturb us, it's fine. That's right. It's best to stay away from people like this. Peng Zhan nodded. Oh right, how did you get injured this time? I heard from Yao Yao that it was revenge for your classmate? Meng Yao called him earlier, but Peng Zhan didn't ask because it wasn't something that could be explained in a few words. He only asked if Lin Yi was all right. After learning that Lin Yi was recovering, Peng Zhan came back first. He hadn't known Lin Yi for a long time, but he could tell that Lin Yi was a man with a sense of propriety. Judging from how he handled the bank attack, Guangbo's incident, and Meng Yao's kidnapping, Lin Yi was a man with a steady mind. Peng Zhan wasn't too worried since Lin Yi didn't go to the hospital and chose to heal on his own, which meant that he had confidence in himself. Meng Yao, on the other hand, was very vague about it, saying that Lin Yi was trying to avenge a female classmate. She didn't know that it was Lin Yi's girlfriend. Oh, I know. Shield Bro broke that Master Bing's leg out of anger because of his beauty. Yushu got really excited when the topic of violence came up. What a shame. I didn't get to see Shield Bro go berserk with my own eyes. Master Bing. Peng Zhan, on the other hand, was taken aback as he looked at Lin Yi. The Master Bing Shu mentioned, is it Zhao Qibing? That's him. Lin Yi nodded. How did you piss him off? Peng Zhan couldn't help but smile bitterly. This Master Bing isn't simple. I heard that he's the illegitimate son of some powerful person. He's very powerful, even Sihua is his subordinate. Uncle Chu, don't worry. This matter won't involve you. If Zhao Qibing comes looking for you, just tell him to come looking for me. Lin Yi said straightforwardly. What are you talking about? How can I just sit back and do nothing when you're in trouble? Peng Zhan said angrily when he saw that Lin Yi misunderstood. Haha, Uncle Chu, you've misunderstood. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. What I mean is, if they come looking for me, I have the confidence to deal with them. If they come looking for you, wouldn't I have to deal with them myself? All right, but I won't just sit back and do nothing. Peng Zhan nodded. Evidently, Lin Yi didn't want to continue this topic, so he didn't say anything else. After dinner, Lin Yi and Faubert went to clean up the tableware. Meng Yao, on the other hand, was called to the room by Peng Zhan. After all, the father and daughter hadn't seen each other for a while. There must be some secrets that needed to be said. Yao Yao, are you busy with your studies? Peng Zhan sat on the sofa and asked casually. It's all right, Daddy. You know that I'm not that kind of nerd. Studying with Shu isn't stressful at all. It's just that I've been doing a little more exercises lately. Meng Yao was extremely smart, and so was Yushu. The two of them passed through the 12th grade without any stress. That's good. Although we can pay for it if you want to go to a university, it's different if you go there yourself. Peng Zhan nodded. Yeah, I know. I don't want people to look down on me because of my family, Meng Yao said proudly. From this, it could be seen that the miss was a good person. She might be a little proud, but she was different from the other rich kids. Some rich kids were afraid that people wouldn't know about their family's wealth and power, and that they couldn't get into a university. Not only were they not ashamed of it, they were even proud of it. They would show off their family's power to others whenever they had time. Right, how's Lin Yi? He's by your side, going to school and living with you. Is he satisfied? Peng Zhan asked casually. Lin Yi. Meng Yao gritted her teeth at the mention of Lin Yi. Daddy, this person is too hateful. Hateful? How is he hateful? Peng Zhan paused. He's a womanizer. He's my follower, he should be by my side all the time, but he got himself a girlfriend in school, causing a huge uproar. Meng Yao said hatefully. This kind of person isn't suitable to be a follower. His private life is a mess. Right, he just went to avenge his girlfriend. This kind of follower who doesn't listen to orders is a heinous crime. That's hateful. Peng Zhan couldn't help but shake his head. It looks like this Lin Yi really is a hateful person. Yeah, Daddy, you think so too. Meng Yao couldn't help but be happy that her father was on her side. Yeah, you're right. Peng Zhan nodded and said solemnly, If that's the case, I'll fire him now. How can I let someone as despicable as him stay here without worry? I'll go right now. Yao Yao, wait for Daddy. With that, Peng Zhan stood up and walked towards the door. Chapter 600. For Shu's sake, no? Peng Zhan couldn't help but smile, but when he turned back, his expression turned into one of surprise. What's wrong with you again? Didn't you say that he's a sinner? How can you not fire a person like that? Because. That's right, that Lin Yi has a hard time finding a job, right? Maybe I'll just bear with it for a bit. Meng Yao found an excuse. Right, she pitied Lin Yi, so she didn't want to fire him. That's not a good idea, is it? I don't want my daughter to suffer. Peng Zhan said with a wave of his hand. Besides, there seems to be a lot of people looking for Lin Yi. It wasn't easy for me to hire him, so don't worry about him. I'll fire him and get you a new follower tomorrow. That's not okay either. Meng Yao said, panicking. Not okay either? Then why? Peng Zhan looked at his daughter, confused. Because. That's right, this Lin Yi guy is a bit of a jerk, but Shu and I are pretty familiar with him now. Meng Yao finally thought of an excuse. Daddy, you know that I don't like strangers coming to my house. It's hard for me to accept a stranger. Besides, Lin Yi's clean, he wouldn't steal anything. I wouldn't be at ease if it were someone I don't know. Haha, Yao Yao, your worries aren't unreasonable. Peng Zhan said with a smile. But it's fine, I've already thought of a good candidate. Faubert has a junior who used to be a bodyguard, but his employer left the country and he doesn't have much to do. Faubert introduced him to me, so he's a reliable guy. No problem. I see. That's not good, is it? Meng Yao said instinctively. Why is it not good? Peng Zhan asked. Because. That's right, didn't I say that although I know this person well, I'm very repulsed by strangers. When Lin Yi first came, I couldn't get used to it for a while. What if I'm not used to the sudden change? It'll affect my studies. Meng Yao said. You don't have to worry about that. Aren't you familiar with Faubert? Let Faubert protect you, and let his juniors protect me. Peng Zhan smiled. You should be familiar with Faubert, right? You won't reject it, right? He watched you grow up. Faubert. Meng Yao felt that Faubert was acceptable, but she didn't know why she didn't want Lin Yi to leave. I think Lin Yi is better. Why was it still him? Why was that? Didn't you say he was annoying? Peng Zhan was even more confused. Actually, it's because that Shu has a crush on Lin Yi. Shu would be sad if Lin Yi left. Meng Yao thought. She didn't want Lin Yi to leave because of that damned girl, Yushu. It wasn't a secret that she had a crush on Lin Yi. Wah! Peng Zhan's eyes widened. He had expected some reasons, but he didn't think that Meng Yao would come up with this one. Shu had a crush on Lin Yi? Why was it Shu? Wasn't it Yao Yao? No one knew a daughter better than a father. Peng Zhan watched Meng Yao grow up, and he could see the changes in her and her attitude towards Lin Yi. His instincts told him that his daughter had fallen in love with Lin Yi, but he wasn't too sure. So he decided to talk to his daughter privately and see what she was thinking. Firing Lin Yi was just an excuse to test his daughter's feelings, but Meng Yao's reasons were getting more and more reasonable. In the end, it even involved Yushu. Peng Zhan was a little confused. Shu has a crush on Lin Yi? Doesn't Lin Yi have a girlfriend already? Peng Zhan asked. Yeah, that's why I say that Lin Yi is the annoying one. He has a girl as beautiful as Shu at home, but he still goes out and flirts with other girls. Meng Yao said. Dad, don't you think he's annoying? That's true. Peng Zhan couldn't help but find it funny. This was the reason why his daughter was scolding Lin Yi. That's why, for Shu's sake, I'll endure it. Don't fire him, Meng Yao said. But Lin Yi has a girlfriend already. What about Shu? Peng Zhan asked curiously. In fact, he wanted to see his daughter's attitude. Her? She's always thinking about being someone else's mistress, so it shouldn't be a big problem. Meng Yao said. Mistress? Peng Zhan shook his head. Really? I don't know, she's always acting like a lunatic. I don't know if it's real or not. Meng Yao shook her head. Dad, don't worry about this, let Shu handle it herself. Alright, I won't worry about it then. Pengzhan smiled and stood up. Alright, it's late, I'll leave first. You guys rest early. Although it's a weekend tomorrow, don't stay up late. Okay. Meng Yao breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, she wouldn't fire Lin Yi. Although it was a weekend tomorrow, Pengzhan still had work to do, so he left with Faubert first. Lin Yi also cleaned up the cutlery, and just when he was free, his phone rang. Lin Yi took out his phone and looked at it. It was Tang Yun. Hello, Tang Yun. Lin Yi picked up the phone. You're back at the hospital? Yeah, not long ago. Mom let me eat something, and now she's with Dad, so I'm calling you. Tang Yun's voice was very gentle, like a wife missing her husband. Haha, I'll go see you tomorrow. The wound on your head should be almost healed. Lin Yi smiled. Okay. Tang Yun touched her forehead, and it didn't hurt at all. It seemed like it was working. It's so late, why aren't you resting? What's the matter calling me? Lin Yi was a bit confused. In the past, Tang Yun wouldn't take the initiative to call him if there wasn't anything. Are you at Meng Yao's house? Tang Yun hesitated and asked. Yeah, I'm here. Lin Yi didn't hide and told the truth. Oh. Tang Yun actually knew that Lin Yi was at Meng Yao's house, but she couldn't help but want to confirm it. Chapter 601. Abnormal. Yeah. I believe you. Tang Yun didn't feel good about it, but she chose to believe in Lin Yi. If Lin Yi really did have something going on with them, then there was no point in stopping him. If there wasn't anything going on, then what was she thinking about? I'll tell you the details when we meet tomorrow. It's not convenient to talk on the phone today. You should rest early? Lin Yi saw Yushu tiptoeing over as he spoke. Her footsteps were light, but how could she hide from Lin Yi's eyes and ears? Yeah, okay. Tang Yun replied obediently. Before she hung up, she gathered her courage and said, I love you. With that, Tang Yun hung up the phone, embarrassed. Lin Yi paused. He smiled when he saw that the phone was already hung up. It was the first time Tang Yun said something like that, right? Yushu was a little disappointed. She saw that Lin Yi was talking on the phone, so she came over carefully to eavesdrop. She'd be living up to her title of Spy Shu 007, but Lin Yi didn't give her a chance. He hung up the phone quickly. Meng Yao had just sent Pengzhan and Faubert off. She closed the door and came back to see Lin Yi hanging up the phone. Who were you calling? Meng Yao wasn't someone who liked to poke her nose into other people's business, but she didn't know why she asked. Tang Yun. Lin Yi answered straightforwardly. Oh, what did you guys talk about? Meng Yao asked casually. Lin Yi paused. The miss cared about what he said to Tang Yun? Don't misunderstand. Meng Yao blushed when she saw Lin Yi's expression. What I mean is, we're in a critical situation right now. There are people who want to do something to me, and there are people who want to do something to you. I just want to confirm if it's really Tang Yun on the phone. What if it's a bad guy pretending to be Tang Yun? Meng Yao couldn't even speak coherently in her panic. Lin Yi was even more stunned. Did the eldest miss say these words? Why did it sound like what Yushu said? Could it be that the two of them had been together for too long and were assimilated? However, he still said. She didn't say anything. She just said that she was in the hospital. Oh. Meng Yao listened to Lin Yi and didn't continue asking. If Tang Yun says anything suspicious in the future, you have to tell me in advance. Maybe there's some conspiracy behind it. For example, if Tang Yun wanted to have sex with you, don't agree. From what I can see, Tang Yun is a very pure girl. She can't do something like that. There must be a reason behind it. Meng Yao was shocked by her own words. What the hell was she talking about? It must be because he didn't sleep tonight and was too sleepy, so he started saying some strange things. Lin Yi was a little speechless, but he still nodded. The people tonight were not normal. Yao Wang was indeed Yao Wang. Qibing's legs were quickly reconnected, and the medicine was applied as well. As for his face, Dr. Kang's golden wound medicine was applied, so Yao Wang didn't have to worry about it. Uncle Zhu's situation wasn't so good. Even Yao Wang couldn't help but shake his head after seeing it. Yao bro, how is it? Uncle Zhu could tell that Yao Wang was in a difficult position. Zhu bro, to tell you the truth, the situation isn't good. Yao Wang sighed. You used your full strength to fight with that person. And the other person used his full strength too. That person wanted to continue attacking Master Bing, so I had no choice but to use my full strength. Uncle Zhu smiled bitterly. Yao bro, just try your best. It doesn't matter if you can recover to your peak. It's not a problem for you to stay alive, but as for recovering your strength, it depends on whether the head is willing to use treasures to nourish you. Yao Wang said. If the elixirs keep up, I should be able to recover in half a year or so. But it'll be hard for me to break through again in this lifetime, unless there's some sort of miracle. I don't think about breaking through. It's good enough that I can recover. But, why would the head use so many treasures for me? Uncle Zhu didn't think too much about it. He was sent to the common world to follow Master Bing because he had no hope of breaking through. Brother Zhu, you don't have to worry. You got injured because of Master Bing. The head of the house won't mistreat you. Yao Wang said. Sihua has already asked the head of the house. I believe there will be news soon. Indeed, Zhao Guangyin had sent news that Yao Wang could use some of the elixirs in the house to save Uncle Zhu. He did this because Uncle Zhu had saved Qibing's life at a critical moment. If he mistreated Uncle Zhu, who would dare to work for him in the future? Wouldn't that be disappointing? So, Zhao Guangyin naturally wouldn't do something as stupid as killing the donkey when it was no longer of use. The other news was for Zhao Qibing. Sihua ran into Zhao Qibing's room excitedly. Master Bing. Good news. Oh, what good news? Zhao Qibing didn't feel much pain anymore. His mind was filled with thoughts of revenge against Lin Yi. He didn't dare to act recklessly since there was no news from his father. Boss, we found out that Lin Yi has nothing to do with any of the hidden houses. After the house sent out the wanted order, no one responded. This means that Lin Yi doesn't belong to any of the hidden houses. Sihua was still used to calling Zhao Guangyin boss instead of head of the house. This was because Sihua was one of House Zhao's business representatives in the common world. He was responsible for providing wealth to House Zhao. Because of his business, Sihua was used to calling Zhao Guangyin boss. Is that so? That's great. Since he doesn't come from any of the hidden houses, there's no pressure to deal with him. Zhao Qibing laughed happily. Finally we can kill him. Master Bing, don't be too happy yet. Boss said that although he doesn't belong to any of the hidden houses, we shouldn't do anything to him. We should at least investigate his background. Sihua said. For example, if he's alone, if he has other disciples from the same sect, or something like that. We can avoid unnecessary trouble if we kill Lin Yi. Chapter 602. Sihua's probing. Yes, Master Bing, I'll go ask Pingzhan about Lin Yi's background in a bit, Sihua said quickly. Hurry up, if Pingzhan doesn't listen, give him a beating. We have to figure out Lin Yi's background as soon as possible. I can't wait to kill him. Qibing urged. Don't worry, Master Bing, I know what to do. Sihua nodded as he wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. Also, what happened to my Qibing skyscraper? Qibing remembered the skyscraper that Lin Yi had flattened, and he couldn't help but feel humiliated. He had just completed his skyscraper, and now it was flattened by Lin Yi. Wasn't this a slap to his face? Not only did he lose face in front of so many rich kids, but it also affected the progress of Qibing real estate. They didn't even have an office space, so how could they build a building? Although the demolition work wasn't delayed, there wasn't a single worker when it came to building a building. How could they develop it? The Qibing skyscraper is completely destroyed, there's no hope of repairing it. Sihua complained. This skyscraper cost him and Gubong a lot of money, and now it was flattened just as it was completed. This was a huge loss. Destroyed? Can't you build a new one? Now, immediately. Build me a new skyscraper. I want to see a brand new Qibing skyscraper before I leave the ward. Qibing was panicking. Without the skyscraper, it would be a huge loss of face. Master Bing, how can a skyscraper be built that quickly? Isn't this a joke? A skyscraper is built from the ground, and Rome isn't built in a day. Sihua smiled awkwardly. Didn't I give you some time? I'll be able to leave the house in a wheelchair in another 10 or 20 days. You have to build me a skyscraper. Qibing gave the mission. Master Bing, how can I build a skyscraper in 10 or 20 days? Isn't this Isn't this making things difficult for me? Sihua smiled bitterly. 10 or 20 days is more than enough. I saw a video on the internet where a skyscraper was built in a few days. If others can do it, why can't you? Are you trying to brush me off? Zhao Qibing glared at him and barked. I'll give it a try then. Sihua had no choice but to bite the bullet and ask around to see if he could find the video and hire a skilled construction team to build the skyscraper. Go do it. Qibing waved his hand impatiently, sending Sihua away. Sihua walked out of the floating cloud, a little depressed. He wasn't the owner of the bar anymore, and everyone here had the final say. Master Bing was the owner's son, so of course he was more powerful than Sihua. However, he couldn't afford to offend Uncle Zhu and the Medicine King. Now he had become an errand boy. Sihua bro, what's wrong? Su Jiaonong asked as he saw Sihua walk out with a solemn face. Stop asking. Let's go to Pengzhan Industries with me. Sihua decided to solve Lin Yi's problem first. This was a little easier than building the skyscraper. Even if the skyscraper couldn't be completed on time, he would at least be able to answer to Master Bing. All right. Su Jiaonong didn't ask much and got in the car with Sihua, heading to Pengzhan Industries. Pengzhan was a little surprised by Sihua's arrival, but he didn't have too many questions. After all, he had heard from Lin Yi last night that the person Lin Yi provoked was Zhao Qibing, so Sihua was Zhao Qibing's underling. It wasn't strange for him to be here. Boss Li, may I know what brings you here? Pengzhan didn't bother with pleasantries. After all, they didn't have any business dealings, and Gubong's scheme against him was planned by Sihua. So, Pengzhan didn't even need to pretend to be polite to Sihua. Mr. Chu, there's no need to say more about what I do. We don't have a good relationship, but that's fine, Sihua said faintly. We'll let bygones be bygones for now. Gubong has failed, and I have no intentions of dealing with you. Then why are you here, Boss Li? Pengzhan didn't find it strange that Sihua was talking about his doings without hesitation. Everyone knew what was going on. Let's not beat around the bush. Mr. Chu, you hired a bodyguard named Lin Yi? Sihua wanted to complete Qibing's task as soon as possible, so he didn't waste time talking to Pengzhan. He came up with a strong stance. As far as Sihua was concerned, he wasn't Lin Yi's opponent, but he was a big shot in Songshan. Pengzhan was just a businessman after all, and there was no way he could be compared to someone like Sihua who was tainted with the underworld. That's right. Is there a problem? Pengzhan frowned. As expected, Sihua was here for Lin Yi. Haha, I do have something I need to trouble you with, Mr. Chu. I'm sure you've heard about my Master Bing being injured, right? Sihua asked faintly. What are you trying to say? Pengzhan asked back. Master Bing doesn't have any masters by his side. I wonder if you're willing to part with Lin Yi, Mr. Chu? Sihua was using a bit of a trick this time. He was testing if Lin Yi was injured, how serious his injuries were, and if his kung fu was still intact. Oh, I have a contract with Mr. Lin Yi. Pengzhan said flatly. I see. Sihua cursed Pengzhan for being a sly old fox. He thought that if Lin Yi was injured, Pengzhan would say that Lin Yi wasn't fit to protect others anymore, or if Lin Yi lost his kung fu, Pengzhan would say that Lin Yi couldn't protect others anymore. But Pengzhan was talking about the contract. What did that mean? Was it because Lin Yi still had kung fu, and Pengzhan wasn't willing to let him go? Or was it because of the contract that Pengzhan didn't fire Lin Yi because of Lin Yi's kung fu? There was no tone to his words, and Sihua couldn't tell what Pengzhan was trying to say. Chapter 603. Stalked again. Haha, I'm afraid I won't be able to. Pengzhan said faintly. Is there anything else, Boss Li? Pengzhan hadn't said anything, and his words had been conveying his rejection of Sihua, as well as the fact that he wanted to keep his distance from Sihua. But even a wise man could make a mistake. He never would have thought that Sihua would be able to glean some information from his rejection. Pengzhan had said that he wouldn't be able to invite him. Not that he wouldn't be able to invite him. This meant that Lin Yi was probably alone now, and he didn't have anyone from the same sect. If that was the case, then there wouldn't be any worries when dealing with Lin Yi. Sihua was overjoyed. Pengzhan, you old fox. You didn't see this coming, did you? I'm not here to poach you, nor am I here to hire another bodyguard for Master Bing. I'm here to get some information. Sihua didn't stay any longer after getting the answer he wanted. He left immediately, and Pingzhan didn't bother sending him off, either. He smiled coldly as he watched Sihua walk out of the office. Sihua hated Pingzhan. In fact, he would have gone after Pingzhan even if this hadn't happened. He just didn't have the time yet. It'd be a great achievement if House Chu's wealth fell into House Zhao's hands. Although the so-called hidden aristocratic families were mysterious ancient martial arts families with absolute masters, their wealth was actually not as great as those ordinary aristocratic families. This was because they pursued different things. The hidden aristocratic families pursued the pinnacle of martial arts, while those aristocratic families pursued power and money. The two were fundamentally different, but hidden noble houses had a strong reputation as well. Not only did they have a lot of masters, but they also had a lot of medical experts. This was what the noble houses yearned for. Although it wasn't the ancient times where firearms existed, guns could still be a threat to normal people. But for real masters, masters above the golden class, they could easily dodge bullets and kill people before they could even open fire. Hence, guns were nothing to an expert. Of course, cannons, rockets, and armored cars were a different story. Even the mafia houses wouldn't be able to get their hands on these things, let alone normal noble houses. Hidden houses, on the other hand, needed money in order to maintain their development. This was also why Sihua was making money outside. Sihua had been drooling over Pengzhan Industries for a long time even without Master Bing. After leaving Pengzhan Industries, Sihua gave Master Bing a call and told him the good news. As for how to deal with Lin Yi, he'd have to discuss it with Uncle Zhu and Yao Wang. He wasn't in a rush, and it was enough as long as he knew that Lin Yi didn't have any background or support. Sihua felt a lot more relaxed now that he was done with this matter. He immediately went to contact the people who were building the skyscraper. It wasn't possible to build the skyscraper in a few days, but 20 days of hard work should be enough to complete it. However, the wages were doubled. The price of building a house at night was naturally different from building a house during the day. But Sihua didn't have a choice. Master Bing had given him a death order, and if he didn't carry it out, he might anger Master Bing. Sihua had no choice but to use the money he was planning to give to Guangyin. It was for Guangyin's son anyway, and Guangyin wouldn't say anything even if he knew about it. Today, Lin Yi wanted to visit Tang Yun at the hospital, but he was called up by Meng Yao and Yushu early in the morning. Lin Yi, accompany us to the bookstore to buy some revision materials today, Meng Yao said. Ugh. Lin Yi suspected that the miss heard that he was going to visit Tang Yun at the hospital yesterday. Otherwise, why would she suddenly want to buy revision materials? One had to know that Meng Yao and Yushu spent most of their time at home during the weekends. What, do you need something? Meng Yao really didn't want to make things difficult for Lin Yi. Her father's words yesterday made Meng Yao even more determined to get a good result. However, under the exam-oriented education system, it was impossible to get a good result without revision materials. No matter how smart you were, you couldn't avoid the brain-twisting questions. Only practice makes perfect, and you could deal with all kinds of changes. It's nothing. Lin Yi could only accompany the miss to the bookstore. Then why don't you hurry up and pack? Meng Yao's tone and attitude had returned to normal. She didn't have the abnormal emotions from yesterday. This made Lin Yi let out a sigh of relief. It seemed that he had thought too much. The miss was still the miss from before. After Lin Yi packed up, he left with Meng Yao and Yushu. On the way, he sent a text to Tang Yun, telling her that he would visit her at the hospital in the afternoon. Tang Yun didn't think much after receiving the text. It was already midnight when they returned to the hospital yesterday. It was only 10 in the morning now, and Tang Yun hadn't woken up yet. She thought that Lin Yi would need to sleep a little longer. Which bookstore? Lin Yi drove the car out of the villa area and asked the miss in the back seat. Let's go to Shuahai bookstore? The one near the school. Meng Yao thought about it and said, Okay. Lin Yi nodded, but his eyes fell on the rearview mirror of the car. There was a black MPV following them after they left the district. Lin Yi had seen this MPV before. Who else could it be if it wasn't Sihua's? He didn't expect that Sihua, who had been depressed for a long time, would start to play surveillance again? Didn't he know that his car had been exposed once? In fact, Sihua didn't want to hide from Lin Yi. He sent people to the villa area just to see how Lin Yi was doing. Yuchu dialed Sihua's number as he sat in the black MPV. Sihua bro, it's me, Yuchu. Yuchu said hurriedly. I saw Lin Yi. Sihua had just finished his business. He hired a construction team to redesign the damaged building, and they were ready to start tomorrow. Sihua, on the other hand, returned to the floating cloud bar and received a call from Yuchu the moment he entered. He'd sent Yuchu to keep an eye on Lin Yi. He didn't know how Lin Yi was doing right now, and Sihua couldn't get anything out of Pengzhan. So he sent Yuchu out to keep an eye on Lin Yi's villa. Where did you see him? How's Lin Yi? Sihua asked. Chapter 604. Are you sure you're not mistaken? What dash? Sihua was so shocked he almost threw the phone away. What? What did you say? Lin Yi's driving? Out with Meng Yao and the others? Yeah, what's wrong with that? Yuchu was just a small fry, and he didn't know much about these secretive things. He knew that Lin Yi had crippled Master Bing's legs, but he didn't know much about Lin Yi's strength or Uncle Zhu's. Are you sure you're not mistaken? Lin Yi's driving? Sihua asked in disbelief. Nope, I even took a picture with my phone when they came out. I'll send it to you later? Yuchu said with certainty. He didn't know why Sihua was so suspicious. Lin Yi's like a normal person? There's nothing wrong with him? Sihua asked, unwilling to give up. Yeah, he's driving. What's wrong with that? Yuchu replied. Then send me the picture. Sihua frowned. This was strange. According to Uncle Zhu and Yao Wang, shouldn't Lin Yi be lying on the bed, about to die? How was he still able to go out with Meng Yao and Yushu? He could even drive? Okay, should I continue to follow them? Zhang Yuzhou asked. You don't have to. You can leave now. Sihua only wanted to check on Lin Yi's condition. He wasn't interested in what Lin Yi was doing at all. Oh, all right. I'll be leaving then. Yuchu replied. He sent Lin Yi's picture to Sihua and told the driver to stop following the car. And so, just when Lin Yi was wondering why Sihua had sent someone to follow him and Lin Yi was about to shake them off, the car behind him disappeared after a turn. Lin Yi shook his head. Lin Yi couldn't be bothered with them since they weren't following them anymore. Sihua wouldn't be able to do much anyway. Sihua received a picture from Zhang Yuzhou right after he hung up. It was a picture of Lin Yi walking out of the villa with Meng Yao and Yushu as if nothing had happened, and the three of them were in the car. The last few pictures were a little blurry, evidently taken when Zhang Yuzhou was following Lin Yi in the car. Only the rear of Meng Yao's Audi S5 could be seen clearly. Sihua didn't dare to delay and hurriedly ran into the back of the bar. Qibing was playing with his phone while Yao Wang and Uncle Zhu were discussing something in a low voice. Master Bing, Uncle Zhu, Mr. Yao, I have big news. Sihua said in a panic. Big news? What big news? Master Bing put his phone aside when he saw Sihua. He was reading a web novel called How to Pick Up Girls, imagining himself becoming the main character in the novel and dominating the world. Lin Yi doesn't seem to be injured. According to my men, he's out with Meng Yao and Yushu right now. Lin Yi is driving. He's no different from a normal person. Sihua said. Impossible. Qibing didn't say anything, but Uncle Zhu spoke first. I exchanged a palm strike with him. I know what's going on between us. How can he be fine? Uncle Zhu, I don't think it's possible either, but this is the picture my men just sent me. Take a look. Sihua smiled bitterly and passed the phone to Uncle Zhu. Uncle Zhu took the phone and looked at it. Yao Wang, who was at the side, followed. This. Uncle Zhu's eyes widened as he looked at the image on the phone, as if he had just seen a ghost. Was this taken just now? How is that possible? With such a heavy injury, I don't even know if I can stand up and walk. Even without the elixir and Yao Bro's care, I might not even be able to talk. How can this Lin Yi leave the house? Yao Wang's face was also filled with disbelief. He felt that the photo on the phone was too unbelievable. It can't be, right? Could it be that Lin Yi isn't injured at all? Is he not a mystic class master? Is he a higher class master? That's impossible. Uncle Zhu shook his head. When we exchanged palms, I could clearly feel his strength. He's at the early phase of the mystic class. Besides, if he was stronger, he wouldn't have ignored my warning and attacked Master Bing directly. Since he chose to retreat, it means that he didn't have the confidence to fight me head-on. Besides, it's only when our strengths are on par that I can survive. If the opponent's strength was too high, I wouldn't even be here talking right now. I would have died a long time ago. But the fact is that Lin Yi really came out. Let's not talk about what's possible or not. It's already possible. Sihua said helplessly. Uncle Zhu, Mr. Yao Wang, if Lin Yi was injured, he wouldn't be able to get up, right? That's not for sure. Yao Wang shook his head. There's only one possibility. He lost his strength, so he's back to normal. Lost his strength. Sihua paused, not understanding what Yao Wang meant. Yes, he lost his strength. Yao Wang nodded. When a master is injured to the point of death, there are two ways to save his life. The first is to use a large amount of rare and precious elixirs to nourish himself. Of course, you also need a master who knows how to heal with pure energy. Otherwise, the pure energy in the world wouldn't be enough to heal the injury. The second way is if you don't meet the requirements of the first method, you can only lose your strength in order to save your life. So you're saying that after you save your life, your strength will be gone? Sihua asked, surprised. You could say that. Yao Wang nodded. Could it be that Lin Yi lost his strength? Sihua mumbled to himself. The first method has too many requirements. It needs a treasure of heaven and earth, as well as a master with medical expertise. Lin Yi probably won't be able to find all of these things. It's possible that he'd even dispelled his arts to save his life. In the first method, you don't have to meet these two requirements at the same time. It's just that if you have both, you'll be able to recover faster. If you lack one, you'll be able to recover, but at a slower rate. Yao Wang said with a wave of his hand. I don't think Lin Yi has these two requirements, so it's possible that he chose to lose his strength. Sihua said. Chapter 605. Yao Wang's analysis. Of course not. Uncle Zhu smiled bitterly. If it were me, I'd rather die than lose my strength. Only cultivators like us know how hard it is to cultivate. Strength is built up bit by bit, and losing it to a normal person is worse than dying. Even if there's a sliver of hope, you can't lose your strength. You're right. Yao Wang nodded. That's why, if Lin Yi isn't an idiot, he wouldn't lose his strength. Or at least, he wouldn't lose it unless he had no other choice. Or maybe he had no other choice. Sihua frowned. Right. Could it be that he's recovered his strength? Recovered his strength. Yao Wang and Uncle Zhu both took in a cold breath. After all, Sihua's assumption was far too bold. It wasn't impossible, but it was too idealistic. What's wrong? Is there a problem? Sihua asked, curious at the exaggerated expressions on Yao Wang and Uncle Zhu's faces. The hypothesis you're suggesting is possible. Yao Wang said. But that's only in an ideal situation. First, if he's in a blessed place with thick pure energy, it's not impossible for him to recover his strength in a day. As long as there's enough pure energy to absorb, recovering his strength wouldn't be a problem. Of course, I don't know if there's such a place on Earth. At least, I've never heard of it. That sounds like a fairyland from a TV show. It doesn't seem to exist anymore. Sihua shook his head. Other than that? Other than that, the second method is to have a master from the same sect imbue Lin Yi's body with his own qi, and that's how he can recover quickly. However, this method had its flaws. First of all, it had to be an expert from the same sect. Because different sects had different cultivation methods, the true qi in their bodies was also different. If it was forced, it would only result in death. Secondly, while it could save someone, it wouldn't be a good thing for the master. Giving away the pure energy he'd worked so hard for would cause his strength to plummet, and he might even lose a level. I don't think even blood brothers or father and son would use this method. Because the higher the level, the harder it was to cultivate. In order to save a mystic class master's life, the rescuer must be at least an earth class master. But if he gave his true qi to the rescuer, then the rescuer might also drop to mystic class. If he wanted to ascend to earth class again, he would need a lot of hard work. No one would do such a thing. Medicine King said. I see. Sihua nodded. So that means that Lin Yi really did lose his strength? Or was there really no hope for him to recover? I've heard from Pangzhan that Lin Yi doesn't have any friends, and that he's alone. There's no one to save him, and he doesn't have any treasures to help him. If he doesn't disperse his strength, he'll die. That's hard to say. Yao Wang shook his head. In short, I think this matter is very strange. Yeah. This Pengzhan really doesn't know what's good for him. I've been beating around the bush for a long time, but I can't get anything out of him. Sihua said angrily. All right, stop studying Lin Yi. What's the point of studying him? Whether or not he recovers, I'll deal with him. Master Bing was getting impatient. Since he doesn't have anyone to back him up, I'll make sure he dies in front of me. And this Pengzhan, does it mean that he's going to protect Lin Yi no matter what? I wasn't planning to deal with him immediately, but since he doesn't know what's good for him, then I'll deal with him as well. That's true. Sihua nodded after hearing Master Bing's words. Mr. Yao, Uncle Zhu, how do we deal with Lin Yi? Lil brother Zhu's condition won't be able to recover within a year and a half, so don't worry about him. Yao Wang said. But, even if Lil brother Zhu recovers, I don't recommend fighting Lin Yi head-on. Oh? Yao Wang, aren't you a mystic as well? You're not afraid of Lin Yi, are you? You and Uncle Zhu working together can't take down Lin Yi? Qi Bin asked. Master Bing, I'm a mystic, yes, but my mystic class is a bit special. Yao Wang smiled bitterly. Although I'm a mystic as well, I used medicine to increase my strength. It's different from a master who uses pure qi from heaven and earth to increase his strength. Moreover, the mental cultivation method that I'm cultivating is of a supplementary nature. Its main purpose is to save people and not attack. So that's how it is. Master Bing nodded, but he felt wronged. If that's the case, then how do we deal with Lin Yi? Can't we do anything to him now that he's a normal person? That's not true. No one can be sure if Lin Yi is a normal person or not. What if he has an ancient miracle medicine? Eating one would be equivalent to half a year's worth of recovery. Who knows, he might even recover his strength. Yaoang shook his head. There's such a miracle medicine? Qi Bin's eyes widened. The world is big. Nothing is too strange. Yao Wang said. Although it sounds a bit scary, I've read about similar medicines in some ancient books. They're called the Great Recovery Pill and the Minor Recovery Pill. The Great Recovery Pill allows an injured person to recover to their peak in an instant, and the Minor Recovery Pill allows the injury to heal quickly, but the strength has to be recovered bit by bit. Of course, this miracle medicine is only a legend. It's hard to say whether or not it exists. But what if Lin Yi has it? If we fight him head-on, we'll be at a disadvantage. Makes sense. Sihua nodded. Fuck. Then wouldn't we be holding back? Qi Bin was very unhappy after hearing Yao Wang's analysis. Wasn't this toying with them? Why don't we deal with Pengzhan first? Sihua suddenly had an idea. Since we can't deal with Lin Yi directly, why don't we start with Pengzhan? We can also test Lin Yi's strength this way. If Lin Yi really recovers, he'll definitely jump out. If Lin Yi is a normal person, he won't be able to get involved. That's right. Qi Bin was energized. That's right, we can deal with Pengzhan first. Let's think about how to deal with him. Chapter 606. Chapter 606, Ruin his reputation. That's right. You guys take a break first. Sihua, what do you think we should do next? Qi Bin asked. Sihua fell into deep thought. We should choose to strike Pengzhan's weakest point, where it's the easiest to hit him. That way, we'll be able to quickly test out Pengzhan's bottom line, and see if Lin Yi has recovered his strength. Fuck, it'd be great if we could deal with both Pengzhan and Lin Yi at the same time. I can't take it anymore. Qi Bing's temper had been pretty bad these days. After all, lying in bed with a broken leg was a very uncomfortable thing to do. Pengzhan Industries has a lot of businesses. We should target the weakest one, the one that's the easiest to deal with. Sihua said in a deep voice. Master Bing didn't disturb him. After all, Qi Bing wasn't as familiar with Pengzhan Industries as Sihua was. He didn't even know what kind of businesses Pengzhan Industries had. He could only wait for Sihua to come up with a plan. Su Jiaonong, come in. Sihua couldn't think of anything by himself, so he called Su Jiaonong in. But Su Jiaonong wasn't a very skillful man. He wasn't even as good as Sihua when it came to scheming. The two discussed for a long time, but couldn't come up with a plan. It pissed Qi Bing off. You two pieces of trash. You can't even do something this simple. Keep thinking, I don't believe that we can't deal with one Pengzhan. Master Bing, please calm down. Jiaonong said carefully. Sihua bro, Why don't we call Jean Gubong and Zhong Fabai over? Jean Gubong used to work for Pengzhan Industries, and he knows them far better than we do. Plus, Zhong Fabai seems to be quite a devious. There's strength in numbers. What do you think, Master Bing? All right, Sihua, hurry up and call Jean Gubong and Fabai. Tell them to come over. Master Bing agreed without hesitation. He didn't want to wait any longer. He wanted to take revenge on Lin Yi. Jean Gubong and Zhong Fabai heard that Master Bing wanted to see them, so they rushed over immediately. They knew that Lin Yi had injured Uncle Zhu and crippled Master Bing's leg, but they didn't think that Lin Yi could live for long. Who was Master Bing? Lin Yi actually broke his opposite leg. Why would Master Bing let him off? So when Sihua told them about Master Bing's plan to deal with Lin Yi and Pengzhan Industries, they knew that their guess was correct. I'm good at dealing with Pengzhan. Gubong said, if we're talking about something that can attract the attention of the media and ruin Pengzhan Industries' reputation, we can start with the schools. School? Fourth school? Sihua paused. That's right, it's the school. Gubong said, nowadays if something happens to the students in the school, it'll be a big deal. The media won't stop until they're dead, and the public's opinion will be one-sided. They'll say that Pengzhan is a black-hearted businessman who dared to target the students. Even if they want to salvage the situation, it'll depend on what it is. What we need to do is create an accident that they can't salvage, and we'll be able to achieve our goal. That's right. Sihua's eyes lit up. That's right, if something were to happen to Pengzhan's school, the parents wouldn't just let it go. It'd be a headache. But what could cause a school to go wrong? Continue, what should we do? Qibing nodded approvingly. It seemed that he didn't take Gubong in for nothing. If we cause a school to go wrong, naturally, we'll cause problems for the students. Gubong said. For example, if a building collapses and kills a few students, or if a gang goes to the school and kills a few students, or if there's a teacher who's a monster, hitting or even molesting the students, etc., these are all things that can destroy a school's reputation in no time. But, what you're saying isn't very realistic. Qibing frowned. A building collapses? Do you dare be like Lin Yi and destroy a building? If it's a gang, do you want our people to do it? Wouldn't we be dragged into this? As for the monster teacher, don't even think about it. It's basically impossible. No matter how much money you give them, they won't risk their lives to commit crimes. Gubong laughed dryly, a little embarrassed. I'm just giving examples. Let's continue our discussion. Master Bing, I wonder if this Mr. Yao Wang is an expert in poison as well as saving lives? Fabai, who'd been silent all this time, suddenly spoke up. Poison? Of course, Yao Wang is an expert in all kinds of pharmacology. Poison is a piece of cake for him. Qibing nodded. Haha, Master Bing, why don't we poison them? If a student gets food poisoning, it won't be a small matter. Fabai said, food poisoning. This can be attributed to the school's poor supervision, or it can be twisted to say that Pengzhan Industries is too evil. They sold expired junk food to the students and caused the students to be poisoned. If they're not careful, they might even poison Lin Yi or Meng Yao to death. That would be killing two birds with one stone. Brilliant! How wonderful! Old Zhong, you're not bad at all. Zhao Qibing listened to Fabai's idea and praised it. That's a good idea, let's do it. Yao Wang, make a poison as soon as possible and poison the cafeteria of 4th High. Poison is easy, but who's going to do it? Moreover, if he poisoned it, would it be discovered by others? That's the key. Yao Wang was naturally an expert in poison, but that wasn't what he was concerned about. That's a problem. Right, old Zhong, isn't your son in 4th High? Why don't you let him do it? Qibing glanced at Fabai and said, Ha! Fabai was taken aback and jumped in fright. How could he let his son do something like this? If this was exposed, he'd have to go to jail. He only had one son, and he was missing a kidney. How could he let him take the risk? He quickly said, Master Bing, that's not a good idea. Let my son do this. What, you're not willing? Master Bing frowned. Are you afraid that I won't give you any benefits? Chapter 607. Chapter 607. Getting close to Guanxin. Oh, that's what you're talking about. We'll just find a scapegoat when the time comes. Master Bing said faintly as he looked at Gubong and Sihua. Do you have anyone who can take the blame? I do, but I don't have any connections with Pengzhan Industries. The police might not believe me even if I get them to take the blame. Zihua said, troubled. Master Bing, I do have someone who's a distant relative of mine. He's the type of person who values money more than his life. Gubong said after some thought. Most importantly, he has some history with Pengzhan. Yes, that's right. It's decided then. Yao Wang will make the poison, and Pin Liang will poison it. Gubong's distant relative will be the scapegoat if something goes wrong. Master Bing was getting impatient. Yao Wang, it's best if you make a rare poison that's hard to detoxify, and the hospital won't be able to detect it. That's the only way to ruin Pengzhan Industries' reputation. Otherwise, if they find out that someone poisoned Pengzhan Industries, it won't affect Pengzhan as much. Don't worry, Master Bing. Yao Wang said confidently. There aren't many people in this world who can detoxify the poison I make. Since I'm called Yao Wang, I naturally have a deep understanding of pharmacology. I've never lost to anyone in my life, other than one person. But that person disappeared more than 10 years ago. Yao Wang naturally had the right to be arrogant. If Yao Wang said he was number 2 amongst all the famous doctors of the hidden houses, then no one would dare say they were number 1. This was also why he was able to save Uncle Zhu even after he was injured. Yes, that's good. Master Bing knew how powerful Yao Wang was. We'll carry out this plan after Pin Liang is discharged. Old Zhong, don't worry too much. I won't mistreat you. Isn't Pin Liang missing a kidney? I'll help him research a compatible kidney source in the next few days and then install it for him. Thank you, Master Bing. Fabai was overjoyed. Pin Liang's loss of a kidney had always been a thorn in his side, and Master Bing was here to help him find a new kidney. It couldn't be any better. Lin Yi naturally didn't know that Master Bing had started to deal with him, but even if he knew, he would just laugh it off. Medicine King? He even used Dr. Kang's medicine to treat his injuries. How dare he call himself the king of medicine? Why are there so many people with big faces in this world? Nothing was too strange in this world. Lin Yi parked the car downstairs of Shuahai bookstore and accompanied the 2 ladies into the bookstore. Meng Yao and Yushu went to the high school information section. Lin Yi wasn't too interested in stuff like that. Even if he couldn't get into a university, Pengzhan would still send him to one of Meng Yao's. Lin Yi wasn't Meng Yao, after all. He didn't care how he got into university. If he had the time to study every day, he might as well do some research instead. Lin Yi was busy enough every day. I'll go to the medicine section. You guys can find me there after you're done, Lin Yi said to Meng Yao. Oh! Meng Yao was flipping through the latest mock exam summaries from different provinces and cities. She responded faintly and didn't bother with Lin Yi. Yushu was also flipping through a practice book like Meng Yao, but after hearing Lin Yi's words, she waved her hand at Lin Yi, indicating that she understood. Lin Yi smiled and turned to the medicine section. This was where he met Guan Shuamin. Almost a month had passed in the blink of an eye, and Lin Yi and Guan Shuamin had established a medicine company together. Life was really strange. But, surprisingly, Lin Yi saw 2 familiar faces in the medicine section. Kong Ming had been in Songshan for 4 days now, and he was here with a difficult mission for his family. Hit on Guan Xian. He wanted to start with Guan Xian and learn about the recipe for the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing in Guan Shuamin's hands. Of course, he didn't believe that Guan Shuamin had invented the recipe. As far as he was concerned, Guan Shuamin was just like his grandfather, Dr. Kong, who'd gotten the recipe from some master by chance. He was a master at hitting on girls, and naturally, he wouldn't rush to the hospital to give Guan Xian flowers or woo her. That would be too cliché, and he didn't think that Guan Xian would say yes. According to Kong Ming's research, Guan Xian had never had a boyfriend before. Doing that would only scare her. And so, Kong Ming wanted to create a chance encounter. He wanted to meet Guan Xian at a suitable place and get to know her. That way, Guan Xian would let her guard down. But this opportunity wasn't easy to come by. Kong Ming waited in front of Guan Xian's house for 4 days without a single chance. It was easy to find out where Guan Shuamin lived, and Kong Ming found it without much effort. But while he waited for Guan Xian nearby, and he did see her every day, he couldn't just go up and hit on her, could he? Guan Xian would definitely think of him as a pervert, and that wasn't something Kong Ming wanted to see. Guan Xian took the commuter bus to and from work every day. It was a routine, and Kong Mingming had no chance to take advantage of it. If Guan Xian took the bus or taxi, he could still create a chance encounter. But he wasn't a hospital employee, so he couldn't get on a commuter bus. This made Kong Mingming very gloomy. He called himself the Casanova, but when had he not met his target after waiting for 4 days? Just as he was about to lose his patience, Guan Xian finally left the house. It was Saturday, and Guan Xian didn't go to work. After leaving the villa, she took the bus to academic bookstore. Kong Mingming felt that his chance had come, so he quickly flagged down a taxi and followed her all the way to academic bookstore. When he saw Guan Xian go to the medical section, he started thinking about how to hit on her. Guan Xian naturally didn't notice that someone was following her. After all, she wasn't a criminal investigator, so there was no way she would notice that Kong Mingming was already not far from her. Guan Xian came to the bookstore today to buy some books about the doctor-assistant exam. She'd majored in nursing when she was in school, but she'd also studied Chinese and Western medicine at the same time. Her grandfather was an outstanding doctor, and Guan Xian didn't want to disappoint him, so she chose a medicine-related major as her second major. Chapter 608. Kong Mingming strikes up a conversation. Guan Xian's decision to pick up this major and take the exam was all because of Lin Yi. She knew that Lin Yi's medical skills were on par with her grandpa's, perhaps even better. She was afraid that she wouldn't have anything to talk about with Lin Yi in the future, so she decided to pick up this major. She didn't tell her grandpa or her father about it, of course. She'd made the decision herself. Kong Mingming was regretting that he didn't spend more time studying medical books. He could have found a topic to talk to Guan Xian if he did. It was a rare opportunity. He came from a medical family, and this was the perfect excuse to strike up a conversation with Guan Xian. Unfortunately, Kong Mingming didn't know how to do anything other than flirt. Kong Mingming panicked when he saw Guan Xian flipping through a book from the shelf. How was he supposed to hit on her? Wait a minute. Kong Mingming had an epiphany. Guan Xian was just a nurse. She didn't know anything about medicine. Nurses, on the other hand, should be doing things like practice makes perfect, right? Needles, bandages, and so on. She didn't need to go to a bookstore to buy books, did she? So Guan Xian was here for. Kong Mingming looked around the medical section. There were quite a few girls as well, and one of them happened to walk past him. Kong Mingming clearly saw the words on the cover of the book she was holding. Traditional Chinese Beauty. Realization dawned on Kong Mingming. So it was Traditional Chinese Beauty. Guan Xian was probably here for that type of book as well. Which girl didn't want to look good? Especially a cute and pretty girl like Guan Xian. She wanted to look even prettier. Kong Mingming felt more confident at that thought. He didn't know anything about medicine, but Guan Xian might not know either. As long as he made it sound more professional and reliable, Guan Xian wouldn't be able to tell if he was telling the truth or not. Not to mention that there were many books out there that were full of lies. What was written might not even be right, and some of them even contradicted each other. Kong Mingming gritted his teeth, strode over, and said with a smile, "Beautiful lady, are you reading beauty books?" Guan Xian's book was open, so Kong Xiaoming couldn't see the cover. He had no idea what Guan Xian was reading, so he asked arrogantly, "Oh." Guan Xian raised her head to look at Kong Mingming. She didn't recognize him, so she ignored him and continued reading her book. Hee, many of the things in these books are lies. I happen to have nothing to do today, so I'll tell you how to use Chinese medicine to make you look good. Kong Mingming said confidently. Let me introduce myself. I'm Kong Mingming, the grandson of Dr. Kong. Dr. Kong? Guan Xian paused. She'd heard of Dr. Kong before, the famous golden creation. She'd often be asked if the hospital had Dr. Kang's golden creation when she was bandaging patients. But Guan Xian didn't have any special feelings towards Dr. Kong. She'd only heard of him. Yeah, our Kong family is a family of Chinese medicine. Usually, I won't casually comment on these Chinese medicine beauty books, but after seeing you today, I really can't help but say a few words. Kong Mingming thought that Guan Xian was shocked by Dr. Kang's name, so he continued to speak proudly. If you follow these scammers' books to make you look good, then you'll definitely be disfigured. I can't bear to see someone as beautiful as you be destroyed, so I have to say something. Oh. Guan Xian frowned, annoyed by Kong Mingming's incessant chatter. No need, I don't want to have my beauty done either. How can you do that? You're so beautiful, if you don't know how to take care of yourself, then your beauty will only last for a short time. Kong Mingming said, think about it, you're so beautiful now because you're young and invincible, but in a few years, you'll be old and your pearls will turn yellow. What then? Guan Xian glared at Kong Mingming, wondering why this guy was talking like that. Old and yellow pearls? Was he crazy? But Guan Xian had good manners, and she wasn't the type to get angry easily. She didn't say anything even though she was displeased with Kong Mingming, and continued to read. She thought that if she ignored him, he'd just leave. But who would have thought that Kong Xiaoming didn't leave? He continued to ramble on. Our miracle Dr. Kang's family has done a lot of research on traditional Chinese beauty treatments. These are all common herbs written in these books, but they're actually useless. If you want to stay young forever, you need to take some strong medicine. For example, Lingji, snow lotus, deer antler, tiger penis. Kong Mingming didn't know what kind of medicine was good, but since Guan Xian didn't know anything about it, he told her about some of the expensive herbs he'd heard about. Guan Xian couldn't help but blush when she heard the words tiger penis. She was a little irritated. Was there something wrong with this guy? Why did he have to say everything? But Kong Mingming didn't have any self-awareness. He thought that Guan Xian was moved by his knowledge when he saw her blush, so he continued, I still have half a tiger penis at home, I ate half of it last time and it was very useful. If you need it, I can give it to you. Kong Xiaoming didn't realize that there was anything wrong with the tiger penis. He just wanted to get on Guan Xian's good side, so he told her whatever he had at home. He did have snow lotus, but that was for the skin-beautifying golden creation. He wasn't stupid enough to give it away. Guan Xian couldn't stand the person in front of her any longer. She closed the book in her hands and was about to leave when she looked up to see Lin Yi standing not too far away. Her heart leapt with joy. She waved at Lin Yi. Lin Yi. What a coincidence, you're here too. Kong Mingming was in the middle of proudly showing off his store's stock when he saw Guan Xian walk away, to find Lin Yi no less. Kong Mingming's teeth itched with anger. The entire Kong family saw Lin Yi as their archenemy. Ever since Kong Xiaobo started hanging out with him, House Kong had been thrown into chaos. It was clearly a perfectly fine pill of life extension and toxin cleansing, but he didn't explain it clearly. Not only did he cause the Kong family to lose a precious pill, but they also had to eat dog shit. It was as embarrassing as it could get. Of course, Kong Mingming never blamed his family for these mistakes. He never thought that if it wasn't for the fact that his family didn't believe that Kong Xiaobo's pill was a miracle pill and Kong Mingming had stomped on the pill to smithereens, there wouldn't have been a series of events that happened after that. But Kong Mingming pushed all the blame onto Kong Xiaobo and Lin Yi, blaming them for not making things clear. Chapter 609. I don't know him. He wouldn't have needed a shepherd dog if he hadn't been researching dog poop. And the pills wouldn't have been eaten by a dog anyway. That's why enemies are furious when they see each other. Kong Mingming wanted nothing more than to tear Lin Yi into a million pieces. Especially since he didn't know what kind of relationship this guy had with Xu Amin. What did he have to do with Xu Amin and Lai Changyi? Haha, I'm just looking around. What are you doing here? Lin Yi could tell that Kong Mingming was here to get close to Guan Xian, but he didn't understand why Kong Mingming was chasing after Guan Xian. Could it be that this brat has nothing better to do and only knows how to chase after women? Yeah, I'm here to buy 2 books. Guan Xian's face reddened again. Her heart raced when she remembered that the reason she was buying books was because of Lin Yi. She was a shy girl, especially in front of the man she liked. Oh, do you need help? Lin Yi nodded, not thinking much about it. Guan Xian was Xu Amin's granddaughter, and she worked in a hospital. It wasn't strange for her to buy medical books. No need. I've already chosen. Guan Xian said quietly. Kong Mingming was about to explode. Why did this Lin Yi have to do everything? It was a perfect opportunity to hit on Guan Xian, but Lin Yi had ruined it. Was this kid born to be a troublemaker? He'd ruined his grandpa's birthday banquet, ruined House Kang's plans for the auction, and even ruined his own attempts to hit on Guan Xian. Zhao Ming couldn't take it anymore. He pointed at Lin Yi and said to Guan Xian, "This guy isn't a good person, don't hang out with him. He's a big scammer. Our Kong family's signature product has been copied by him." We're Dr. Kang's golden creation medicine, and he made Miracle Dr. Guan's injury medicine. We made a special edition, and he also made a special edition. He's simply copying and copying. Don't get close to such a shameless person. He's learning everything from us. We're Miracle Dr. Kong, and now he's Miracle Dr. Guan. He's the king of copycats. Kong Xiaoming poured out all the depression he'd been suppressing for a long time, but when he finished, he saw Guan Exan staring at him coldly. It sent a chill down his spine. What kind of gaze was that? Kong Mingming suddenly understood. Wasn't Guan Exan's grandfather Miracle Dr. Guan? How dare he call Miracle Dr. Guan a fake? Wasn't that the same as scolding someone's grandfather? Of course Guan Exan was pissed. Kong Mingming regretted it. He couldn't control his mouth. Even if that was what he thought, he couldn't say it out loud. Wouldn't that make Guan Exan hate him? In a moment of desperation, Kong Xiaoming could only explain incoherently. No. I'm not saying that Miracle Dr. Guan isn't good. I'm saying that Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company isn't good. It's a counterfeit. Guan Exan was still staring at Kong Mingming coldly. Her eyes were filled with anger. Kong Mingming was shocked. What he said just now wasn't appropriate. Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. Wasn't it Guan Xuemin's company? It would have been better if he didn't explain himself. The more he tried to explain, the more he made things worse. No. I'm not saying Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company is bad. I'm saying that Miracle Dr. Guan was tricked by that Lai Changyi and this kid. They made him do some fake things. Kong Mingming explained incoherently. I didn't mean to insult you. How did you know Miracle Dr. Guan is my grandfather? Guan Exan glared at Kong Mingming. She didn't say anything about her identity. How did Kong Mingming know? I guessed it. Kong Mingming sweated profusely. Yeah, he was here to create a coincidence. He shouldn't know Guan Exan. How did he let it slip? You knew, didn't you? Did you approach me on purpose? What are you trying to do? Guan Exan took 2 steps back subconsciously. She looked at Kong Mingming cautiously. It's a misunderstanding. It's actually a misunderstanding. Kong Mingming was panicking. His performance today was below par. It could be said that he was below par. He was a master at picking up girls. How could he make such a low-level mistake? Lin Yi. It had to be Lin Yi. Ever since he met this kid, he'd started to make mistakes. It wasn't like this before. When he first met Guan Exan, he was still a gentleman, boastful and knowledgeable, and Guan Exan didn't pay attention to him because she was shy. At least she wasn't as angry as she was right now. He didn't know that Guan Exan only thought of him as a passerby. She didn't care about him at all. Since he was just a passerby, Guan Exan had no reason to be angry at him. But now, he was insulting her grandfather. He was insulting her grandfather and Lin Yi's company. How could she not be angry? Guan Exan wasn't a woman with a strong personality. Although she was angry, she only glared at Kong Mingming. Guan Exan, I actually know you. I've admired you for a long time. That's why I'm a bit infatuated in front of you. Please forgive me for saying something that doesn't make sense. Kong Mingming was indeed a master of love. After he calmed down, he pushed away his mistake with just a few words. Now he was saying that Guan Exan was too pretty and that Kong Mingming was infatuated with her. If it was a more vain girl, she would have been very happy and wouldn't have cared about his mistake. But Guan Exan only had Lin Yi in her eyes. There was no place for Kong Mingming. His words only annoyed her even more. She frowned subtly and lowered her head. She didn't want to see Kong Mingming anymore. Seeing that Guan Exan was ignoring him and lowering her head, Kong Mingming thought that his words made Guan Exan shy. Girls who had never had a boyfriend would always be shy. Kong Mingming thought that Guan Exan was the same. Besides, he'd already used enough strong medicine today. If he said anything more, Kong Mingming was afraid that Guan Exan wouldn't be able to handle it. Guan Exan, I still have something to do today. A friend asked me out. I'll be leaving now. I've lost my composure today. Although I had my reasons, it was still inappropriate. I'll come and apologize another day. Kong Mingming felt that he was really smart. Not only did he apologize, but he also made a concession in order to advance. He set up an excuse for their next meeting. This way, Kong Ming could go to the hospital to find Guan Xian. Chapter 6:10. What a fierce employer. Guan Xian didn't know what she was trying to prove, but she didn't want Lin Yi to misunderstand. Ha! I know him. Lin Yi smiled. He's a playboy, don't mind him. Guan Xian nodded, relieved. As long as Lin Yi didn't misunderstand. Guan Xian didn't understand why she cared so much about Lin Yi. Lin Yi had a girlfriend. What did she want? Guan Xian didn't know either. Did you buy the books? Lin Yi asked. Not yet, I was choosing when that Kong something came. Guan Xian shook her head. He said some weird stuff I don't understand. Ha, continue choosing then, I'll just read some books. Lin Yi took a book from the shelf and started reading. Meng Yao and Yushu went to the medicine section to look for Lin Yi after they were done with their revision materials. They saw Lin Yi talking to Guan Xian. What's he doing? Meng Yao was about to explode. Why was he messing around again when she couldn't even stop him? Why did he bump into a pretty girl in a bookstore? Shield bros flirting. Yushu took a closer look. She's pretty, not any worse than Yao Yao. What are you talking about? Meng Yao gritted her teeth. What do you mean not worse than me? This Lin Yi, he's pissing me off. Would he die if he didn't flirt? Oh, I don't know. I'll go tell Shield Bro to stop flirting then? Yushu asked. You can't go. Meng Yao frowned. She didn't want to yell at Lin Yi directly. She needed an excuse, or he'd think that she was doing something to him. With that thought, Meng Yao quickly took out her wallet and stuffed it in front of Yushu's chest. Hide it. Just say that you lost it. Oh. Yushu stared at her boobs, confused. Yao Yao, it's not symmetrical. Hold it in for a bit. It'll be symmetrical when we get home. Meng Yao glared at her. Oh. Yushu nodded, feeling wronged. Lin Yi. What are you doing? Shu and I went to buy books. How did you disappear in the blink of an eye? Meng Yao tried her best to sound angry. I lost my wallet. Where did you go? Lin Yi was just about to finish his conversation with Guan Xian when Meng Yao's shout startled him. Who are they? Guan Xian jumped in fright as well. She looked at Meng Yao and Yushu in fear. These two girls were ridiculously beautiful, but they were so fierce that it was scary. My employer. Lin Yi shrugged and smiled bitterly. I have to go back. See you next time. Ah. Guan Xian was curious. Why did Lin Yi have an employer? Wasn't he doing business with Grandpa? Why did it look like he was the follower of the two misses? What the hell was going on? Although Guan Xian was curious, she didn't ask any questions. She wasn't a talkative girl, so she nodded. All right. Come to my house some other day. Grandpa's still wondering when you'll be able to come. Okay, I'll visit when I'm free. Lin Yi nodded. Then tell Grandpa in advance. I'll prepare food for you. Guan Xian said, a little embarrassed. Meng Yao gritted her teeth when she heard that Guan Xian was going to cook for Lin Yi. How could this girl be so shameless? She even wanted to cook for Lin Yi? Lin Yi, I'm hungry. Hurry. Go home and cook for me and Shu. Meng Yao pointed at Lin Yi and said angrily. Oh, I'm hungry too. I want to eat shark meat. Yushu raised her hands and called out as well, but the movement was too big, and a corner of her purse was squeezed out of her chest. She didn't even realize it and continued excitedly, let's go catch a shark. Your employer is so fierce. Guan Xian opened her mouth. She looked at Meng Yao and Yushu, stunned. Then go home. Don't disturb your work. Okay, see you next time. Lin Yi didn't know what was up with the miss again. He walked over quickly. Lin Yi, it's because you left your post without permission that my wallet was stolen. What do you think I should do? Meng Yao glared at Lin Yi. Bring the thief to justice. Oh, it's Shu who stole your wallet. Lin Yi smiled. How is that possible? Meng Yao was shocked. She didn't know how Lin Yi knew. She argued. Shu, why would Shu steal my wallet? No, I didn't steal it. Yushu shook her head as well. Ha! It's right in front of your chest. Half of it's exposed. Lin Yi pointed at Yushu. Yushu looked down. A corner of her wallet was exposed. This. Aren't you going to bring the thief to justice? I've caught him for you. Do you want me to send him to the police station? Lin Yi asked with a smile. Oh no. I don't want to go to jail. Yao Yao was the one who forced me to hide my wallet. It's not my fault. Yushu screamed. Meng Yao's eyes widened. Her heart was about to explode. What are you screaming for? Stop screaming. It's because your chest is too big. It squeezed out your wallet. Ah. You can't blame me. Yushu said pitifully. Ha. Since we've found the thief, let's go back for dinner. Linny smiled and didn't say anything. Sometimes, the miss was cuter than Shu? How could she come up with such a ridiculous idea? When they got home, Lin Yi went to cook. Meng Yao, on the other hand, glared at Yushu. Look at you. You don't even know how to act. You got caught like this. Yao Yao, you can't blame me. The wallet came out on its own. Yushu said weakly. All right, let's not talk about this. You're pissing me off. Meng Yao was speechless. Who was the girl who talked to Lin Yi today? I don't know. I've never seen her before. Yushu shook her head. Aren't you the spy 007? You don't know anything. Meng Yao shook her head. Lin Yi prepared an extra portion of food. He wanted to give it to Tang Yun when he went to the hospital. However, the miss found out. Lin Yi, why did you make so much food? Will the three of us be able to finish it? Meng Yao was just pissed, so she asked casually. In fact, the miss usually didn't care about leftovers. I made an extra portion. I'll give it to Tang Yun when I go to the hospital. Lin Yi didn't hide it. Chapter 6:11. Shu to death. The miss didn't say anything during the meal. She lowered her head and dug in, wanting to finish the extra portion, but her appetite was limited. She couldn't eat anymore, so she turned to Yushu. Shu, go eat some more. But Yao Yao sis, I'm already full. Yushu said, holding her stomach. No, eat some more. Your breasts are too small. You need to enlarge them. Meng Yao glared at Yushu, signaling her with her eyes. Yushu didn't know what Yao Yao sis wanted, but seeing that she wanted to continue eating, Yushu could only stand up and get more food. But Meng Yao got there first, running to the kitchen and putting the leftover rice and vegetables on Yushu's plate. That's a lot. Yushu was shocked. Hurry up and eat. Your body is still growing. You need to eat more. Meng Yao said, seeing that Yushu didn't move her chopsticks, she lowered her voice and whispered, If you listen to me, I'll let you be my second wife. Oh, okay, I'll eat then. Yushu was happy hearing that, so she made a difficult decision and picked up the chopsticks to eat with difficulty. Lin Yi watched Yushu eat all the food bit by bit, and stood up speechlessly. It seemed that the idea of bringing food for Tang Yun was gone. Yushu finished all the food and couldn't stand up anymore, lying on the sofa motionlessly. Lin Yi told the miss and went to the hospital to visit Tang Yun. Meng Yao didn't have any reason to stop Lin Yi, and in fact, she couldn't. Seeing that Lin Yi was full of energy, Tang Yun was very happy. She was worried about Lin Yi's injury, but it seemed that he was fine now. You're here? Tang Yun ran down from the bed in surprise. Are you feeling better? Lin Yi wanted to hug Tang Yun, but Tang Yun shyly dodged. I'm fine now, my forehead doesn't hurt at all. Tang Yin said as she moved away from Lin Yi, afraid that Lin Yi wouldn't be happy. This is a hospital room, there's a lot of people here. It'd be bad if Mom saw us. Haha. Lin Yi chuckled. I wanted to bring you some when I was cooking, but Yushu ate it all. Tang Yun didn't want a meal, but a thought from Lin Yi. As long as Lin Yi thought of her, she would be happy. She wanted to ask about the relationship between Lin Yi and Meng Yao, but she couldn't bring herself to do so. She was afraid that Lin Yi would think that she was petty. After a night of peace, the bold Tang Yun had returned to her original self. Without Meng Yao's provocation, it would be hard for her to do anything bold. It was embarrassing and shameful to think about it. Was she still the same person yesterday? Actually, I transferred to Songshan because my elders asked me to take care of Meng Yao. It's my job, Lin Yi explained before Tang Yun could ask. Lin Yi didn't wait for Tang Yun to ask and started explaining. He had to tell Tang Yun about this sooner or later. It was just a matter of time. Now that she had met up with the miss, Lin Yi told her everything he could. I've been living in Mingyao's villa since the first day I transferred here. She rarely interferes with my personal matters, but maybe it was because I didn't tell her before I went to avenge you, so I pissed her off. Tang Yun didn't know what Lin Yi was thinking. Lin Yi told Tang Yun about his relationship with the miss, not hiding anything. After all, there was nothing to hide. Lin Yi told her the truth. Oh, I see. Tang Yun calmed down after listening to Lin Yi's detailed explanation. After all, Lin Yi said that this was his job. He came to Songshan to take care of Meng Yao. Yeah. Will you be angry if you know the truth? Lin Yi asked. I'm not that petty. This is your job, why would I interfere? Although Tang Yun said that, she still felt a little uncomfortable. After all, Lin Yi was living under the same roof as Meng Yao and Yushu. How could Tang Yun not care at all? It'll be fine when we get a dorm in university, Lin Yi said. Right, yesterday, they said that you kissed them and touched them. Tang Yun was a little embarrassed. She paused and continued. And often. 3p. Lin Yi was speechless. 3p? How is that possible? If I really did 3p with them, would they let me meet you? That's true. Tang Yun wasn't stupid. If Lin Yi did 3p with the Miss and Shu every day, they would definitely keep a close eye on Lin Yi. How could they let him meet her? What about kissing and touching them? Tang Yun couldn't help but ask. Didn't I tell you? Meng Yao drank my drink, so that counts as an indirect kiss. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Yushu, on the other hand, was drowning, and I was performing CPR on her. As for touching her, it was during CPR. Really? Tang Yun asked, but she already believed Lin Yi. Yes, Lin Yi nodded. Then can you take off the bandage on my head? Tang Yun asked. Ah. Lin Yi was taken aback. Tang Yun's thoughts were jumping a little too far, wasn't it? She was just asking about him and the miss. Why was she asking about the bandage on her head now? Lin Yi didn't know that Tang Yun wanted to know if she was disfigured or not. If she was disfigured, Tang Yun was afraid that she wouldn't be able to compete with Meng Yao. Although Tang Yun didn't say it out loud, her woman's intuition told her that Meng Yao's behavior towards Lin Yi wasn't just like what Lin Yi said, that she went to take revenge and didn't report to her. Yesterday in Fatty Lai's villa, Meng Yao's behavior could be interpreted as jealousy. Of course, Tang Yun wouldn't say it out loud if Lin Yi didn't say it. It should be done, let me take it off for you, Lin Yi said as he reached out to take off the bandage on Tang Yun's head. Tang Yun, on the other hand, lowered her head and looked forward to the moment the bandage was taken off. Ah! Lin Yi looked at Tang Yun's smooth forehead and couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. Although Lin Yi was confident in his medicine, he was still a little nervous since it was related to Tang Yun. How is it? Tang Yun asked anxiously.